Good for a Monday.
Dude. Oh yeah. You know what I'm thinking, man?
Oh,
I'm thinking I might try my hand again at TikTok.
oh,
The contractor that's been working on my pool deck, he's like, I told him about the wrestling business, right?
oh.
And he's like, you could sell your stuff on TikTok as well. And he made a good point. There's millions and millions of people that tune into TikTok, probably billions of people that use TikTok,
Yeah.
and they have a TikTok shop. So, you could start
Oh,
using
they do.
TikTok shop to sell your stuff. And when I was making shorts last year, and I was making shorts like every day,
On
and I was
TikTok?
doing that to kind of build up my subscriber count. Every time I posted a video on YouTube Shorts, I also posted it on TikTok.
Oh,
And I built up the TikTok numbers a little bit here and there, but like we're not talking about a large number. I think I went from like 675 to like 705 or something. So we're not talking like a large following or anything like that. But I haven't posted a video on TikTok in like 2 months or longer, however long it's been since I posted a YouTube short. Um, and that number keeps dropping. So it's like down to like 690, something like that.
that is
Yeah,
the
I have
key,
no
though.
content.
You make the one content and you distribute it everywhere, right? See, it's not
Yeah.
like you have to make a TikTok video and a YouTube video and a Facebook reel. I think you can probably submit the same thing to all of them or whatever. Or Instagram, that's another one. I never TikTok, so I didn't know about that shop. I get links from my friends from TikTok, but I always forget about it. I'm just now looking at Instagram more. And even then, it's still links that people send me. I still forget. I'm like, I don't know. I spend all my time on Reddit. It seems like I read more than I view. Well, when I watch stuff, it's YouTube. So YouTube is when I watch stuff. I just haven't gotten the habit of watching stuff on Instagram or Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All have videos. Oh, Matt Hammer. Lance is in the house.
I got to do the Greg the Hammer Valentine pose.
He's always got good nicknames. He's the nickname. We need a nickname for the nickname man there. Ironically, we don't have. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt you any, right? I mean, it's not like it costs you money. You just cross post to a bunch of places.
I just want to know what the hell it is about TikTok. Like, how the hell does a person become TikTok famous? Like, I used to think that to be on TikTok, like literally anybody, regardless of the content that you make, everybody could get thousands and thousands of views on their videos. Because like, you got your phone in your hand, bam, boom, bam, like just doing this.
Oh, because you consume the videos faster.
Yeah, just bam. I'm going through.
Makes sense.
Even if you don't sit there and watch the video, just the fact that your video popped up on somebody's phone when they're scrolling through, I thought that alone gives you a view. And if that's the case, I mean, I would assume my video would pop up on probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of people's on their accounts or something. But then you look at my videos and they got like 75 views.
Oop.
400 views. I'm like, it's TikTok. Like, why? I can understand a YouTube algorithm not working that way, where maybe most of the time people are only looking at your videos if they're searching by that specific title, or if they're subscribed to you and they're watching it that way. But or if YouTube is pushing your algorithm, they're pushing your video or something. But like TikTok, like, why? I don't understand the small. Like that's why I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm not getting the type of numbers that I feel like I need to be getting in order to build my and I wanted it to build YouTube. Like I didn't really care about TikTok because that's not my platform. That's not the one I used regularly.
You might have to use and game it better. Sorry about that. Somebody's at the door and I was trying to see if I needed to answer it, but it looked like some solicitor. So benefit of having a video doorbell, you could ignore them.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Steve?
Just in case. But yeah, I assume the TikTok, there's probably different ways to garner engagement, ways to game the system, like the search engine optimization folks used to do it. Well, they probably still do, but I don't know how you feed it the algorithm because I'm not even a consumer, let alone a producer of TikTok. So I don't even know. There's probably a way, but you just got to start. Yeah, I did.
Full bouncer mode.
Yeah, I think on Friday or this weekend. It's getting a little long. So
what's up, man?
Got quite the gang. A lot of the folks are here. Just need Bum and I think Ross. I noticed a few. But I mean, it's free, so you might as well. I don't see a downside, really. Do you? posting to TikTok, even if it doesn't garner views immediately?
Yeah,
I don't
last
know what
summer.
counts. Like you said, if you just toggling through, does that count as a view or a watch or whatever? I don't know. Or do you have to wait till the end and then it count? I don't know. Does YouTube count? Do I have to watch the whole video to get a view?
I don't know. I think as long as you watch it for a few moments, it counts.
I
Like,
never
I don't
paid
think, I think
attention.
as long as you have maybe a few, like, I don't think if you watch it for like a few seconds, I don't think that counts. But I think if you're on it for, a couple minutes or so, maybe that'll give you a view.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's the question.
I,
I guess those would be
I
the
know,
things to look
honestly,
up.
I have no idea because like I've seen videos of mine where like I would be at like 147 views. And I'd probably be watching my own video. It'd be like 147 views, and then I'd
Mhm.
watch it again just to see what's up. And the second time I'd watch it, the view count would drop to like 87, and I'm like, "How the hell did I just drop 60 views
You have a time
from the
machine?
last time I watched it?"
You go back in time or something? You have a time machine over there you've been keeping? Yeah, how does that work?
So
Because
so
the
over the years,
creator
I've
watched
seen
it
it
twice or
happen a
something?
million times on YouTube. So
How, is that view some kind of weird adjusted for time average or something? I don't know.
yeah,
I didn't know about that. Yeah, I've never paid that close attention because I don't create any videos. Every once in a while, I look like I was looking at the interview that Bum and I did. That he interviewed me just to see what views it had. I was always just curious, like if it'll go up. Or went back and looked, or like how do our live streams do? Do they which ones do better or worse? I probably should. But
amen.
views with low view time makes it look like funny business. Oh, well, that's weird though because you're saying it had like 200 views and then you watched it again, it's down to 150 or whatever, and you're like, wait, how did I take
Yeah,
away views?
that happens frequently.
You can't unring the bell. The bell has been rung, right? How do I unring a bell? You can't. Oh, watching the video and refreshing on the further. Oh, is that why?
It's
Yeah,
possible. Like
I've heard there's a delay sometimes in YouTube counting. I think what Steve's saying, and then I don't know if Lance is on to something too. I don't know if they penalize you for watching it again. You might just not. I would assume they wouldn't give you credit. I don't think they'd penalize you. I wouldn't think, but I don't know. Google gets kind of goofy. Why it's called Google? No, probably not.
but that kind of sucks because like in the beginning, like when I first started my channel, I always watch my own videos.
You get a
I mean,
VPN
for one
then,
thing,
if it's IP based, right? So you look like you're a different VPN. Oh, now you're from Denmark. Now you're from Chile, right? Oh, it must be a
I
unique
don't,
view. You're from Russia now.
and I just did that because one, I didn't have a lot of people that I watch on a consistent basis, so I was able to do that. I wanted to get myself, views, obviously, some watch time, and and I liked the videos I was making. Obviously, I was making the videos, so I was interested in the videos I was making. So, I mean,
I hope so.
obviously, but nowadays it's like I can't really do that. Like I could go back and watch the video that I post a brand new video the one time, but like I can't go back and watch the same video over and over again. Like back in the day, like when I first started 2022, episode 38 and episode 39, I think those were the my favorite, my least favorite, and the my favorite LGN top 10 favorite LGN figure episodes.
Should be good.
And like I watch those consistently. And I think the episode 39, episode 38 or episode 39, which was like the top 10 my favorite LJN, top 10 favorite LJN figures. I think it was like the first video that got to 100 views for me.
Hmm.
And that was like for me, that was like at the time my favorite episode ever. And it was like my favorite episode up until I don't know. I'll probably still say that's probably like one of my favorite episodes I've ever made. So
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a simple countdown, like, hey, this is my 10th favorite. This is my number one favorite for these reasons.
Yep.
And it was like right at the beginning of my YouTube, me starting YouTube, and it was still at a time where I didn't know how to present videos or make videos. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to talk or describe the figures and all that stuff. So,
All right. You were kind of feeling yourself
but
out.
But I mean, it was still a very enjoyable episode. I enjoyed watching on a consistent basis. I probably watched those episodes, probably 2 dozen times
And
over
the
the
topic,
years.
Your top 10 favorite and least favorite, I guess most favorite and least favorite. Good topics, especially LGNs.
They block VPN.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I use a VPN pretty consistently now because it does a good job of blocking ads when I'm just browsing the web. I don't know if I watch you. Yeah, I think I watch YouTube, but I always watch YouTube in the Brave browser, anyways, to block their ads. Apparently, Brave. I don't know what they've done, but it used to be you'd have a plug-in because I don't pay for YouTube Premium or whatever it's called, so you'd get ads. So when I'm watching other people, I feel bad, but I watch somebody else's stuff, and it used to be a browser war. Like Head-On would have to update their lists, and then Google would update them, right, and it'd be like an arms race. But for some reason, Brave always blocks it now. I've never had a problem with the Brave browser. I don't know if any of y'all use an alternative. There's a billion of them now. I'm actually going back to Edge here at home, the Microsoft product, and it's not too bad. Chrome I use quite a bit. I've actually now Firefox is the odd man out. I used to use Firefox a lot, but it seems like a lot of memory. I bounce around. But Brave and Edge right now, I don't know what just kind of goes. At the end of the day, you just want to browse the web. You don't want to think about your web browser. I'm sure most people aren't geeky. Can't grow much facial hair. Yeah, this is about the best I can do.
I mean, I grow patches, which sucks.
What'd you say?
Like, I want one of those damn Duck Dynasty beards, but I can't do that. Like facial hair, like cheek wise, I grow little patches like right here, and that is it. Like, and then there's like no hair around it, but like it's so freaking funky. And I'm like, I get so frustrated. I mean, like, oh yeah, you shave your hair. The more you shave it off, the more it's gonna grow back. I'm like, bullshit. Okay, yeah, you don't shave it at all. Let it grow out, but there's nothing to grow out. And once it hits like a certain period, it stops growing. And like, what the hell? So how do I get the sucker to fill in?
It's funny I wonder why that used to be. Maybe it still is, depending on the person. That's still a sign of masculinity. It's just dead skin cells getting out through your skin to create hair. When you think about it, it's like, oh, how masculine of you. You push out more dead skin cells than I do. Gonna go get a job with a drill. Gray hair. I always thought it'd be neat to dye your hair gray or silver. Especially like in high school when it would make less sense. When you're like, oh, you're like a junior in high school. Why is your hair silver? Because I dyed it. But that's not a very common dyeing. Most people want to dye it away from gray and silver.
Well, there's that one kid in Erie, Indiana, the TV show Erie.
TV show? I thought that had City, maybe
that had gray hair, and like ever since, I mean, when did I air? Like when I was like 12 years old or something. And ever since I saw that show, like I wanted to have gray hair like that kid. Like I just thought that was so unique and different, seeing like a little young kid, probably preteen, teen, with gray hair. Damn, that's cool.
Was that because of something that happened to him or some power he had or something? Because wasn't that era? I never saw it.
I don't remember. Like that episode was, that episode's what, like 30 years old, something like that. So
yeah, since then. I've never seen Erie, but because what's the shtick? Isn't it like all the people in Erie, something funny happened to them, or it's a funny town, strange stuff happens, like X-Files type?
It's just like a weird supernatural town, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a Goosebumps of type, but not really Goosebumps. But
Goosebumps
once they came back with new characters, I think it was called Erie, Indiana, the New Dimension or something. I mean, it was basically the same exact concept.
They came out with another one?
Same, two kids, same two best friends, everything, but like a different set of two best friends. I'm like, I mean, it was still again, still the same great show, but I mean, it's just, it wasn't the original cast. It just wasn't the same.
It wasn't the original cast. Yeah, that's a big deal then. So they had two series. I haven't watched either of them.
It's like when I look at Are You Afraid of the Dark? I mean, the show from start to finish was always fantastic. But if you were to watch it the first couple of seasons, and let's say that the blonde girl who played Cher in the Clueless TV series, I forget her name, but
no one either.
Like she was a major storyteller in the first few seasons of Are You Afraid of the Dark, and then she was replaced, and another character came in. The guy that looks the guy with the glass, I forget his name, but he was again probably like the leader of the pack basically, and then he was replaced, and then his younger brother Tucker basically became the leader, and he was in charge of the whole new crew and everything. I'm like, oh my god, that's so freaking lame. Yeah, so like, I mean, it was Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was always a fun show, regardless. But it just wasn't the same feel without the original cast. I mean, when they replace one character here, one character there from time to time, it's fine. Like you live with it, but the original storytellers, you got used to a certain character telling a specific story, and you would look forward to that person's story because you always felt like they told the best kind of story.
And then they replace them all, and it's not the same. Yeah, it's tricky, and that's where some of the actors have them over a barrel. And there have been a few. I remember I watched House till the end, and I think the last season of House, the lady who ran the hospital, Cuddy, I think they were gonna shortchange her. They wanted to give her less money, and she said no, come back for less, and so they didn't have her back. They just wrote her out. And
Yeah.
it was a little different, and I think the season maybe it was annoying not having her. But luckily, they did have a natural stopping point to explain why she didn't come back. But if a bunch of the cast didn't come back, it would be totally different. Or like if House was changed, Hugh Laurie, if they changed the main character, well, that's tough. I never saw Afraid. Okay, so there you go. Bums got.
But,
I wonder if that's out on Tubi or somewhere. Are you afraid of the day?
well, I think on Amazon Prime they got the newest release. I think it's like 4 episodes. It's like the 2020 version.
Oh, okay.
It's like a more adult version. But
did you like Gary Indiana? Because I think I've had that recommended to me before, and I've never seen it. Do you remember liking it?
I mean, I watched as a kid when I was like 12 or something, and I enjoyed it. But like I said, what I still enjoyed as an adult. I think I saw a few episodes recently, like in the last couple of years. My wife and I tried to go back and rewatch it, but like we only made it through like a few episodes, and that was it. But I mean, it was still watchable. It was still fine.
Do you have it on tape or DVD or something like that, or did you just catch it online?
No, I think we watched it on either YouTube or maybe it was on Tubi or something.
Right.
I think it may have been on Tubi.
Could have been. That's where I found The Critic, and I found a few other things too. After you start looking for that stuff, you're like, well, no, I signed up for an account. The ads didn't seem too bad on Tubi. I didn't notice. Not as bad as some of the places. I don't think there's an ad-free version of Tubi. I guess I could look. I think it's all ad supported. Are you afraid of the dark? So yeah. So Q&A tonight. I think you said no sponsor for tonight. Q&A brought to you by Honda or
I was gonna have 7 days worth of it, but after like 4 days, I'm like, you know what, I'm done with this. So I'm like, I want to go back to regular titles.
Brought to you by Krispy Kreme or someone. Zebra Cakes. Hostess.
I mean, if I ever do an official sponsor week, I'd have to actually have it where I'm actually going live every single day of the week and make it a real sponsor week. Because if I'm doing it like once every few days, like we're doing, that's not a real sponsor week. That's a sponsor week and a half, sponsor 2 weeks. So
sponsor every other day, 4 sponsors a week. That's why I live streamed last week was kind of tiring. That was just attending and watching live streams, let alone if you had to give a couple hours every night. I guess that because I see some of the Twitch folks, but they're usually playing games and stuff. I wonder if they get tired. A lot of Twitch folks treat it like a job, at least or they're on like 5-6 nights a week or 6 days a week, depending on their schedule. And admittedly, a lot of them are just playing games. You're kind of like, does that get tiring? You ever playing video games for a job?
I can't do that. Like me, like I said, my baseball game, MLB 2004 for PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a regular PlayStation game, but I played on my PS2. That is literally the only game I play, and I probably haven't touched that in like a year.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since I played that game. And if I ever do like just a random video or random live stream where I have the phone set up and it's just showing the TV screen, and I'm just talking in the background while the fans, viewers, whatever, are just kind of watching the gameplay, kind of like complaining in the comments, like, dude, what kind of graphics are these? This is shitty as hell.
Oh yeah, 20-some years ago.
And
have
I'm
you
like,
played more games been that? Yeah.
I'll be like, well, back in 2003 on PlayStation, these graphics weren't bad. These graphics were amazing back in 2003.
Yeah, they were just 3 or 4 years removed from Y2K, guys. I mean, that's 22 years ago, 23 years ago. Well, longer probably, because it's going to announce. Was it 2004? You said MLB 2004.
Yeah.
Which means maybe they released it in 04, maybe they released it in 03 to get ready for 04. Which means they developed it in 03, even in 02, right? I mean, those games don't develop themselves in a week. It takes time. So that actually probably was developed even 2002. We're talking 02 graphics. Have you played other games on your stream? I think I vaguely remember Unless that was somebody else. Was that you or was that somebody else?
No, I did a bunch of NES video games
Thought
and
so.
a bunch of Super Nintendo video games. I think I did a Sega Genesis couple games maybe, or 1 or 2 games on there. So
Before maybe I started watching a live stream. I happened to catch.
yeah, and I started doing that because
Yeah.
I wanted to showcase all of the wrestling video games that have come out over the 80s and 90s. And I think I got all of them, or pretty much all. There's actually one wrestling video game that somebody recommended to me. I looked it up, but it was like $80 cartridge, and I'm like, no,
don't care that much.
I'm not paying $80 for an individual cartridge. Like you got to go out and buy like $30 just for the manual. If you want to split them up and start buying them piece by piece, I'm like, no. And I can't remember what the game was called, but I mean, it looks interesting.
How old was it?
I think it was a game from the 90s.
Okay, but still pretty.
Because it was for Sega Genesis, so I know that there was a 90s video game.
That's an interesting question by Mustard. He throws out the Hell in the Cell or whatever it was with Mick Foley. Of course, that was probably Mick Foley's best match. That might not have been Undertaker's best match because he didn't have to do a lot, right? Mick took all the fun.
I mean, come on. Obviously, there's only one answer. WrestleMania 9.
9. Was that with Giant Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Okay. Comes out with his bear suit or whatever it's called.
I mean, that's come on. Let's be honest. There's only one. There's only one true answer there.
I don't think that's on a lot of people's lists.
The greatest match known to man.
Was that a WrestleMania? Didn't him and Shawn Michaels have a pretty good one? Was that a WrestleMania or was that like a pay-per-view?
It was. What's up with you and Jason, man?
You keep saying, yeah, Jason is somewhere complaining. But he loves them. He's too busy.
I like the rant videos, man. I like when people do rant videos. It's fun. Like, I know, like, if someone says, "Hey, man, sorry about the rant," like, no, man, rant away. Like when I make a rant video, hey, man, I just made this eBay sale, and this guy's a fucking scammer, and he's going to eBay and bitching about this, that, or the other. Let me make a video endorsing this asshole because I need to call his ass out. I like that type of rant video. Okay, I want to watch that type of crap all day long. I mean, yeah, it sucks that it happened to me, or it sucks that it happened to this eBay seller or whatever. But it's still a fun video to watch, regardless, and good content. And when that stuff started happening, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to be mad anymore. I'm going to turn this into a positive. I'm going to start calling these people out, posting, making videos on it, so people, are aware of, hey, these guys are, scammers, whatever. And if they're not scammers in the traditional sense, they're shady as hell buyers, or they're shady as hell sellers, or etc. And people need to be aware of their antics. So if they come onto their page ever, they know what to suspect or what happened, in case this event happens with them as well. And I can explain what happened with me and what the process happened, how it played out. And that way, if it plays out similar with them, they know how to correct it.
And probably by going on a rant, did that get that out of your system and then you feel better too? They always say sometimes, right? Don't hold on to it. Whether it's a rant or you don't have to record it. Maybe you just need to speak it into the void.
Yeah.
2026ers.
Tony, I've been trying to get that emulator, but I don't know where to buy that sucker. Like, I see Jason with that darn thing, and I'm jealous. Like, he's got like the damn Simpsons, but I don't want the Simpsons for like a regular console. I want it for an actual arcade system.
Oh, that kind of okay.
I want 4 or 5 games on an actual arcade, but I don't have the space for it. That's the problem. Yeah. But I want 4 or 5 actual arcade games. I want Mortal Kombat, which is on the very last one. That's the back end. I want the Simpsons. That's a guaranteed. I want the Ninja Turtles. I want the WrestleFest, which I got. And what did I miss? Simpsons, Ninja Turtles, WrestleFest, Mortal Kombat, and probably Street Fighter. Because who doesn't want to have at least two fighting thing. You could say Tekken, but I mean, I didn't play Tekken. I think I saw Tekken on like PlayStation or something.
I didn't play Mortal Kombat much either. I was Street Fighter 2. But could you retrofit because that WrestleFest has a full arcade cabinet to it?
Yeah,
walk up to it, stand up.
Stand up and everything. Yeah, it's got 5 games on it. I mean, I bought it. I only used it a few times. I mean, it's got Superstars and WrestleFest, but I actually was able to win a few matches and actually go pretty far in the actual. Was it a tag team or? Yeah, I think it was a tag team match for a tag team tournament, but I couldn't figure out how the hell to tag out. You push a bunch of buttons, and luckily, you walk up to the guy and push a bunch of buttons. Eventually, you tag out. But how the hell did I do that?
Did it
or and the guy's on the ground, and you push a bunch of buttons, and eventually he jumps up on top of him for pins. I'm like, well, I don't know how the hell that happened.
That's weird.
Like, I don't know. You just walk up to him, A plus B together, pin him. No, like that doesn't work. So that's so frustrating. Like, what is the pin button or pin buttons? Or what's the tag out button? Like my guy is about to die.
Manual?
It does. I'm pretty sure it's inside the box. I just I didn't pull that fucker out.
You ever heard that RTFM redefined manual? Or some other F word?
But my ass ain't gonna do that. No. I'm speculated, so I can't do that.
Lance says he only had the LGN collection. That's pretty good. And the ring.
I can't be inconvenienced with manuals.
It's interesting to think about an arcade. I guess it makes sense, but like, why are you walk up to them and say, stay standing playing the game? I don't know whoever designed the arcade years ago. It's kind of funny. A rabbit hole I went on YouTube. They talked about, I think it was Super Mario 2 and 2. Yeah, I think Super Mario 3 in America first came on a arcade game that had multi-games. Because I don't know if they had to port it to the Nintendo from the Famicom or whatever. I forget the exact details. But it made like a ton of money before they finally released the cartridge to play Super Mario 3 at home. That was a big game. And in fact, Super Mario 2 that we got was totally different than Super Mario 2 that Japan got. That it was kind of underwhelming. People said, I think Super Mario 2 was too hard, too much like the first one. And then Nintendo had another game that was similar looking, but by a designer or developer who was on 3 that they ported to make 2 for the US. So our Super Mario 2 was totally different than ours. Kind of weird little rabbit hole. Ring was gone.
That's the ring. Yeah.
Can afford it now, but you're afraid to play. Well, if you get them banged up already, loose banged up figures, Lance.
Yeah.
Have your own fig fed. I mean, I wouldn't get Min on card Hasbro to open them, but I wouldn't do that. But
or the Mattel retro rings. I mean, how much are those? 30 or $40? Man, that freaking retro ring. I think it was a black ring with the Brother Love figure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, yeah. I want the Brother Love figure, but I don't want the ring. I haven't bought it.
And the thing is, I was smart. I did buy 2 of them.
2 WrestleFests?
No, 2 of the rings, Mattel rings.
Oh, so you got 2 of the Brother Love rings?
Yeah. So when they came up for pre-order, I ordered 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
so now you can wrestle more than once, right? You got 2 rings.
Yeah, so but what my Brother Love, I took 1 out of the package. He's displayed on the loose collection.
Yep.
Problem is, the other one is still brand new in the box. I'm never going to open that because what is a brand new 1990s Hasbro wrestling ring new in box worth today?
And the figure doesn't look as good because he's in the box somewhere, right? It's just a box at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
so how do you display the figure when he's in the box hidden?
Yeah. So
no bubble to look at.
So if an unopened Hasbro from the 90s is worth $800 to $1,200 sealed, think of approximately, depending on condition and who's buying, yada yada yada. I could imagine that the Brother Love wrestling ring with figure sealed, especially if I keep it packaged the way I am.
Yeah.
In 20, 30 years, that damn thing is probably going to be worth about just as much. I mean, am I going to be here 30 years from now? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But maybe I could pass it down to somebody who could who could collect on that. I don't know.
Way to bring
But
things
thing is,
up.
I've always said I don't want to. I don't want to ever sell my collection. I want it. I want it to either be go to a museum, or I want somebody to take on the collection and you'll keep it. Pass it down. Family to family or something. So I didn't build a collection just to have it be sold off over time. I want somebody to who's going to love and appreciate it, and make sure that they pass it to someone who's going to feel the same. So hopefully, I won't
Yeah,
have to
that's
wait 30
tough.
years.
I haven't really thought
But
about that. What would I do with my collection if I passed away? I'm not sure I care because I open all my stuff, so that'd be more interested in probably my investment. But I got beneficiaries in that, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. Um,
yeah, but
Lance got a good question though about does your wife care much about your collection? Of course, you don't play with your figures much, do you? You don't do any pig feds or anything like that.
no.
Do you have to play with them when she's not there? I mean, ideally, she'd be into the same thing you are, but at least she should let you enjoy it. But,
Well, here's the thing, man. Back in like
she?
February, I want to say February of 24. And the only reason I know that date is because I actually went through my archive of videos recently and saw the saved video. It's not listed. It's privated because it was embarrassing. But somebody had asked me to make an LJN battle royal or a Royal Rumble match, and I'm like,
Hmm.
well, I don't do that. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, I would feel really embarrassed and out of place doing that. But I'm like, one day I was home. I don't know if my wife was out or if she was sleeping, but I'm like, what? Screw it. Let's see what I can do.
Maybe a rainy day.
And I did put together a real Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
30 figures. Every 2 minutes come in with the new. But my fighting, when you're in a Royal Rumble, you only pick up 2 figures at a time, and you always gravitate towards two particular figures more than the others.
Yeah.
And my commentary on that was bad.
Oh.
And I feel like a lot of times all you're doing is punching and kicking and drop kicking and stuff like that, and suplexes and body slams, all these extra aerodynamics, drop kicks and flying through the ropes like Rey Mysterio does, stuff like that. Like I
Oh yeah.
don't do stuff like that, and all these stunners and what do you call it? When a guy comes at you like pins you, takes you down like that, like a different football tackle. They keep calling it because I see everybody do that darn move, and I'm like, that's new age stuff. I've never seen anybody wrestlers doing that in the past. But anyways, that's it. That's my wrestling. That's all I do.
Well, and
But like I put together.
those
Sorry, go
moves weren't
ahead.
as popular, right, in the WWF. We didn't have like the Canadian Destroyer and typically leaping backwards off the top of a table where 5 people are there. Right, all that flippy gymnastic stuff wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But I did put together an hour and 10-minute Royal Rumble match. But I looked at that video. I'm like, hey man, this would be fun to post. But like I said, the commentary is bad, and you're seeing me, you're seeing all my body showing. I'm like, I didn't want my body showing. I just kind of want to show my hands, whatever. It was so freaking corny. Uh, I like the stop motion stuff that people do. Like that stuff is clever, but as far as
that takes a while, probably.
like, no, I don't know, man. Like embarrassing. Like I felt retarded doing that. Like I couldn't do that. Like no.
Did you pick the people randomly that entered the Royal Rumble? Or did you book it, or strategically?
I just put figures in places I wanted to put them.
Okay.
But,
I don't know, because that could be fun if think of like a booker. If they're doing it right, there's reasons why number 5 is Big Boss Man and number 10 is Mr. Perfect or whatever. Right? Usually they come up with reasons for each person. I'm not saying they plan it out perfectly, but you can tell when it's out sometimes that they planned that. I wonder if they do any of that randomly though too. Yeah, I can't remember when Sting and Warrior were talking a bit about class. and the Von Erichs before. And of course, see, we didn't have the internet back then. I didn't think the dirt sheets and wrestling observer were a thing, but I was a kid. I was watching WWF. I barely knew WCW existed yet at that. I think I don't know. Maybe it finally got on the TV, or maybe we finally got cable and I could watch WCW on TBS or one of those channels.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know about that until we got cable. Maybe WWF was the only game in town, really, because it was the only thing on TV that I saw. But I had no way to look up the Von Erichs and then all the sad things that happened to that family until years later. I did like the spear.
Tony, thank you. Like, I don't know how I forgot that stupid word. It's so simple. But Tony knew exactly what I was talking about. Thank you for informing me, because god dang, it was driving me nuts. I felt like it was right at the top of my tongue, and I just could not think of the darn thing.
Was that even a popular move back then? It wasn't either, right?
No, I never saw anybody do that move before.
And that's a pretty safe move. I wonder why it never was. I mean, you get some of the flippy things they do nowadays weren't, but
like I'm watching a lot of wrestling nowadays, and I'm trying to get into more modern day stuff, so I know more about. Because here's a lot of hate that I catch, and it's like sometimes you don't know how to impress people because you're doing exactly what they ask, and it's not enough.
Oh,
my memories are what I want it to be, which is our 80s and 90s. When I was a kid, when I watched. And then when I got old enough, I fell out of love with wrestling, like many kids do.
Yep, they do.
And what I'm fond of is the golden era of wrestling, just like pretty much 99.9% of fans today are of. They're people our age, they are fans of the 80s and 90s of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't care about, post 2000 wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about wrestling in 2010, 2015, like people could care less. They want to go back. They want to watch wrestling from 84 to like 95 or something, because that to me is like probably the best time frame. But
yeah,
so 83, 84 to about 95-ish.
But if we were born in a different time period, we probably would have been nostalgic for that too. I can't definitively say the 80s and 90s were the best wrestling, but they were for me.
I would definitely say so.
I can't
but
say my nephew who grew up later and he likes John Cena in that period, he's wrong. Because for him, that's nostalgia. He wasn't there for Hulk Hogan being.
A lot of people saying that Roman Reigns could go down in history as one of the greatest of all time, like Mount Rushmore of greats. And I'm like, okay, maybe. I mean, once his career's done, you never know.
He kind of bores me a little bit, but I mean, I didn't grow up with him, and I'm an adult by the time I saw him. It is interesting though, because I forgot that he started with the Shield, which started as like protection faction for CM Punk way back when. Because I wasn't watching it back then, and I'm kind of a Punk stan now. I'm like, I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, that was John Moxley, or what was his name in WWE? Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns were the Shield part of protecting CM Punk way back when. Because now, right now, building a feud between Punk and Reigns for WrestleMania, where Punk's going to defend his. Which title does he have? The World Heavyweight, non-heavyweight? I don't know. There's 2 heavyweight titles now. I don't know the difference anymore between the 2. Cody's got one and Punk's got the other, and I'm like, yeah. Somehow I think Cody's is better. I don't even know.
Yeah, and the issue is like, I was catching slack. I was like, oh well, you don't know anything about modern day wrestling. Okay, I got you on that one. So, or I didn't know a lot about, wrestling from the 60s or 70s.
Yeah, I don't either.
Or something like that. So since I started my collection, since I really got really deep into the channel and everything, I made it my mission to learn as much about the wrestlers that I collect. And I became about as knowledgeable for a lot of stuff as, well, I don't say about as anybody, but I mean, my freaking knowledge about a lot of stuff has peaked. Now, there's a lot of knowledge I've taken in that I cover in my channel, and then maybe I forget that knowledge.
Where have you been getting that knowledge from? I've been reading both. Where do you seek it out?
Internet knowledge, or I might watch something in videos or on YouTube or something.
Because like the 60s is probably hard to come by, and I can read about it. Like I'll hear stories by Cornette and those folks.
Like
Man,
like an
Cornette knows, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same as watching it. It's like I kind of have to watch it. I can hear Cornette and Mantell and those guys who lived it talk about it. It's not the same to me. Like they'll go on and on. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but I'd like to watch it. I don't know where you can see it.
Yeah, like if Bram Treasures
Good
is
idea.
watching an Ivan Putski figure, and I'm like, I don't know anything about an Ivan Putski. Or if the Legends of Professional Wrestling is releasing an Ivan Putski or has released an Ivan Putski, and I got this variant of bloody and non-bloody Ivan Putski, like, who was this Ivan Putski guy? I didn't grow up with him. I don't know who that is. So now I gotta do research, try and learn about him. And I'm like, okay, bam. Now I have all this knowledge about this guy. And now when I do my videos and talk about him, I can relate all this information to my viewers, kind of educate them more about this character.
Mhm.
I mean, nowadays, like, I don't know shit about him, but like I had this vast array of knowledge once upon a time. But I call it the Kelly Bundy syndrome. Every time you learn a new fact, old facts leaves your memory. So
Probably. Your brain's good at keeping some stuff, but yeah, you think you run out of space like a computer or a hard drive or your
it's like,
PS2, even your Xboxes and stuff, right? They run out of memory.
but
Oh, really? Tubi does? Bum saying
yeah,
Tubi has old wrestling.
does it? Oh,
Wow.
nice.
I'm a new Tubi fan. You're making a good point though. Is that I don't think I knew much about the wrestling other than the one I experienced. Even listening to Cornette more regularly until I started collecting figures, and I think reading some of the stuff he was writing and some of the other things. Dark Side of the Ring actually helped quite a bit, filling in some gaps. And you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting, and you see how small a world it is. I'll have to check that out then, Tubi. Oh. No, yeah, that was his sister. Are you talking about the interview, right, Lance? Sister Shadows? Yeah, sister. And I think I caught her the other day. I really wasn't paying attention because I think Bum or someone was streaming, but she's back on the Twitch. I think that computer her fiance was during that interview. She's ready to go. She had it up, I think, a couple nights ago. I always have Twitch open because I follow a few gamers, a few new games, but I don't feel like gaming. But sometimes it's fun to watch them. And then every once in a while, my nephew jumps on there, and it's free. I'm just using one video. I'll have to do that then. Tubi, huh? I'll have to use Tubi more often. I even have an account now, so I can have a watch list or whatever. It really was just for the critic. I think I found a few other things on Tubi that I hadn't seen anywhere else. So I just need to put that into my rotation because then sometimes I'll go down. Well, lately I've been watching basketball. I had basketball on a weekend when I was watching TV, but then I was still, I think, watching YouTube at the same time or listening to podcasts at the same time. Yeah, social media can be. Actually, the real life for pretty women, especially women. I'm sure some men get catcalled, but especially women.
So Mustard, is this a real thing or is this a joke? I'm not sure about that.
What, the Raspberry Pis or?
I thought this first part was a joke, but I don't know about this. But the rest of this seems legit right here about running an emulator through the arcade. Is that a possibility?
He might be doing it. Because the Raspberry Pi is like a smaller, maybe not quite as powerful computer, like a real small on a chip you could fit in there. And I think maybe that's what he's doing. I'd probably just run my emulator on my computer, but if you want the arcade experience, because you wouldn't need much room, I think. Even though you might have a lot of room in the cabinet, you wouldn't need much room for a Raspberry Pi. And it'd be kind of cheap. And especially for emulators and older games, you would need, it's not like a modern game where you need the fanciest graphics card that costs $1 billion. He hasn't responded back though. I've never used the Pi. I keep looking to try to find something to do, and then I get lazy. There's a project called Pi-hole, which is kind of a fun name. I think it's called Pi-hole. And the idea is it's smart enough that basically you go to a website like Amazon.com. You're not actually, your computer doesn't know how to go there, but it knows an IP address. If you're familiar with that concept. What that DNS can do is it can smartly keep a list of all of the bad names for ads and basically not return an IP address. So none of your ads will load that web pages and stuff. I thought about playing with that, but I haven't. I've been too late.
Hey, one day, guys, when the outside and the deck is complete,
yeah,
I would like to try to start filming outside.
Do an outdoor stream.
Problem is, I don't have any internet connection outside, so I don't know if if we go off of data or whatever, I don't know if that's going to interfere with the volume, the sound, or if we're gonna get cut off. If it's gonna be scratchy, snowy, blurry, etc. So I don't want it to mess up with the live streaming if that ever happens. But I
Or
mean, I would like to kind of sit outside and kind of be on the couch, maybe have the heaters out, especially if it's like a nice windy day or something.
hot tub stream from the hot tub,
So
or the pool. If you get, of course, you just have the one wireless. What do you call it? Router.
yeah,
Yeah.
the one that's in the office.
I mean, I guess if that's too far away, you could always either upgrade that one. Some of them you might just need the one. That's just, or you can get like a whole. What do they call those? Multiple routers. I keep thinking about it, but mine seems to be big enough for my whole. If needed to, but you can get like two or three routers that talk to and kind of extend your wireless if you wanted. Be something to look into if you wanted to. Well, your data plan would probably be okay. Do you get pretty good coverage house on your cell phone?
I mean, for us, yes, but it's weird because whenever like other people come in to like plumbers or electricians, whatever, whenever they're in the house and they try to use the internet, like they have like no access, like they're completely blocked off, which is so funny. And I feel bad for them, but like they have like no access to the internet, so they always have to jump into our Wi-Fi or whatnot.
Wonder what they're using. Yeah, poolside Watty live stream. Oh, yeah, they do have, I think, licensed Nintendo NES games that come with a bunch. Or if you got what's their handheld Switch? It's still called the Switch, I think, isn't it? And if you sign up for Nintendo Online, I think you can play some old games, but then you have to keep a subscription. I was looking into that briefly. I don't have a Switch yet, but I keep thinking. Yeah, buy you the Raspberry Pi mini comp. Yep, cheap and powerful. Yep. And then you could probably be a project for you, but if you wanted to add some games or an emulator to that arcade, just a towel and a smile. Don't forget to bring a towel or a smile.
So Raspberry Pi, it's called Mini Comp because they're
cute name too, isn't it? Raspberry Pi.
So I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, that's good info right there. Because I want that darn emulator. Because like I said, I keep seeing Jason play that sucker. And he keeps playing the darn Simpsons games and all that stuff. I'm like,
in his arcade.
Yeah. And I'm like, jealous. Freaking jealous.
I mean, you might be able to install an emulator on just your notebook. Or you have a laptop or a computer or something. You might be able to just install it there and play with it for a while if you wanted to. I don't know if it's still out there, but even was it the Internet Wayback Machine or whatever? You could actually play some Atari 2600 games in your browser, just like in JavaScript or whatever. Because I think I played Pitfall one day, but this was a few years ago. I don't know if it's still in my web browser. I'm like, this is pretty cool. What, do they have Frogger out there or River Raid or some of the other games? And then I think I got busy until now.
Because playing that stuff on a NES or Super Nintendo or something is one thing and it's fun, but playing it on an actual arcade, it just has a whole different feel to it. So
yeah, Mustard's idea.
Yeah. I think I might need to get a couple stools. I think if I get my wife a stool, I think she'll sit down there and play for a couple hours, maybe.
Actually, isn't she a bigger gamer than you?
Well, she plays her Witches of Warcraft or whatever it's called.
World, yeah, I know. So I've never played it. Yeah,
she's yelling at me. World of Warcraft.
Witches of Eastwick. What's it called? I forget.
World of Warcraft.
World of Craft Wars.
I got the Warcraft part right.
Yeah.
There's actually a movie called Warcraft after that video game. So
yeah, I don't think I've seen it though.
I mean, I was confused as hell because I don't play the game. I don't know anything about it. And in 2016, I was in Afghanistan, and they had that movie on AFN.
Oh.
And
you watch the movie?
And it was nice because Camp Brown in Afghanistan, all the rooms had a little cable that was AFN connection, AFN network. So I just had my little tube TV and I plugged it in, and then I had this big flat screen TV. Not mine, of course.
Do they provide you a TV, or did you have to buy it?
No, well, the small TV I got from one of the contractors that was leaving. The flat screen TV, I think I took out of the supply office. It was a nice big flat screen. They had like 2 others in the office already. I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping this sucker. But it was a property book item, so I couldn't keep it forever. As soon as I left the base, I put it back in the supply office. You had to sign it back in. So But I use the big flat screen for like, gaming if I want it on my off time.
Hmm.
But that was nice to have,
Oh
that
yeah.
little set. It would have been smarter for me to use the big flat screen for the TV watching, but I mean, based on where that cable was, I could fit the small TV in that little corner, so that's why I used the smaller one. But
Hmm.
plus, I didn't get that. I didn't take that flat screen TV until like right at the end, and then I ended up leaving camp probably a couple months later, a few months later. So I'm like, damn, I should have done this like 2 years ago, year
What
and a
did
half
o-
ago.
what did other soldiers and contractors and stuff do? Did they just have to buy a TV from somewhere? Or
In all honesty, man, like I think the
how
only
did they
people that
get
ever
there?
bought stuff is like right at the beginning of their contracting duties and stuff. May have gotten TVs and stuff, but a lot of time, especially on SF compounds, it's just basically swapping, switching stuff out. Like contractors come in, other contractors go out. Hey man, yeah, you getting rid of anything? Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah.
You take this, you could take that, you could take that. You want a microwave? Hey, take that microwave. You want a toaster? They may have a freaking toaster. You
Where
never
did
know.
where did the first person get a microwave, or if it
You
breaks?
got
Is
you
there a
got
way to order it?
you got a coffee pot. They have a coffee pot. Some of these dang guys got freaking Keurig machines, man.
But where do you order them from? If you did need one or it broke, or
They probably just go to PX or something.
can you? Okay, I was just curious. Yeah, if you had no in, or if the place that you like, because like you're saying, when you moved out, somebody moved into your place, and maybe you sold them, your old toaster or whatever. But what if you didn't have a coffee machine because you didn't drink coffee? Now, but I do. Like, well, I need to buy a coffee pot from someone. There had to have been a place to go get that. That's interesting.
Like my like when because I worked for Lockheed Martin twice, and when I left Lockheed Martin in 2017, I left a ton of stuff behind. Like I had an entire room practically filled with stuff. So behind, I left a bunch of clothes, obviously, because I thought I was coming back again.
Oh.
And when I left, I didn't. I ended up taking the job with Raytheon. So when I took the job with Raytheon, ended up leaving Texas and moving to Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But I left a TV. I left a coffee pot. Um, I think I actually took some of my electronics, but like I had more electronics. I think I had some power surge converters and stuff like that. So like there's a lot of stuff that electronics wise I left behind. A TV. I mean a table, maybe a chair or something. So like I had a lot of comfort items.
But could you have taken that home with you?
Yeah,
To the,
I mean
they
go to
did that
post
you?
office, mail it home if I wanted to, but
Oh, okay. At your
I
dime,
mean,
at your expense.
yeah.
I'm
But I
sure
mean,
that's kind of expensive to
I'm
do.
not. A lot of stuff you're not taking home with you. You're
I was thinking.
either if you're not selling it, which I don't see why you would try to sell that stuff, especially if it was given to you. You would give it to the next team member. Either you'd give it to a soldier or you'd give it to a fellow contractor, whether if they're in your company or if it's another contractor that's coming through. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't. But yeah, you don't try to take that stuff home with you. Like,
When
are you really gonna send a Mr. Coffee, coffee pot, that's been used for like 6 years?
yeah, just buy a new one at home if you need to. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
what did
what
you
did
do? Did you put
a
your
Mr.
stuff in
Coffee?
storage because you thought you were coming back, or did you leave it in your
Yeah,
place?
yeah. Lucky Martin has connexes on their
Okay.
compound and everything.
So then
That they yeah. So
when you
they're
didn't come back, did you tell them, hey, go ahead and give it away or something? Or,
no, they just kept my stuff locked up in a connex.
so they still
And
got
when
it hooked up somewhere?
yeah, so
Okay.
when I came back, I actually came back to Afghanistan in 2019 with another company. And
Oh,
I went back to Bagram and I went down to the SF compound and I got my stuff back
oh, you did.
because I was set up for another room. But
Mm-hmm.
like I had probably 6 years worth of like hygiene items and I was never gonna go through all that stuff. And I'm like that company was freaking miserable. I'm never gonna shout them out because oh my god. And it was a bad company. I always knew it was a bad company. Everyone I've ever talked to in my life over the years have
So
always said
yeah.
it was that company. I've had to do turn-ins with that company, so I saw how they operated. I knew it was bad, but when you're looking for an overseas position,
Oh,
beggars can't be choosers, right?
okay.
You're taking anything that's hiring. If it's a paycheck, you got to take what's available.
Was it a good paycheck at least?
Probably the worst paycheck I had
Oh.
overseas. Well, Afghanistan wise was probably the worst, but
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
like I
bad.
said, I mean, you're you're taking whatever you can get to support your family, and it was one of the harder jobs, obviously I've had. But well, I want to say one of the harder because I've had tougher jobs, but it sucked. Like the living conditions were terrible. A lot of your bosses were some of the most. There were no leadership qualities whatsoever.
Yeah.
So,
Name only. Leadership name only. So you wouldn't go back to them.
absolutely not. Horrible. But then that's why I don't give them any name recognition on my channel. Like I will shout out Mantech ish. I will shout out Lockheed Martin. I went back to them twice.
So
So
they were good. Lockheed Martin.
yeah, I'll shout out Lockheed Martin. Absolutely. I'll shout out Raytheon, of course, 100%. But the other company, like, man, they don't even get a notification on my channel. Forget that.
I guess at least you're not besmirching them by naming and shaming them.
Yeah. But any contractor that's worked overseas, whether they worked in Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait,
Oops.
they pretty much can assume what company I'm talking about because they know better. They know the company. They know the bad companies out there.
Oh, is there multiple? Not just yours, but some other ones you heard of, or
I mean, there's not really too many companies. I mean, those are some of the basics. SAIC is a company that works overseas. That's a very big one. You know, Dynacore is another really big one. I think
Northrop Grumman?
Northrop Grumman is a big company over there. I mean, that's a company I would love to catch on with, but I've never worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear great things about that company. Triple Canopy, but that's more for like I think that's for like the African soldiers or security forces. So um, I don't think Americans or anything work on that contract.
Oh, okay.
I
Never
think
thought
maybe
about all the overseas jobs for the military.
yeah, I think Triple Canopy because I think Triple Canopy I think is mostly guys from Uganda, if I'm not mistaken,
Triple.
and I think they serve as like security forces. And so Triple Canopy is one. I don't know if that's all they do, but that's again from what I've seen, that's part of their job. Trying to think what other companies are out there, other than the one I'm not talking
Yeah, you
about.
can't name it. I've never
But
thought.
again, the big one that I'm leaving out, especially in the company in Kuwait, yeah, Afghanistan. Um,
And they still do overseas contracting for the military.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they got contracts.
So they must do good enough for the military to keep them. I guess they don't care about the things that the employees care about. I guess.
That's the thing. I mean, the military will freaking love the hell out of company like that because all they see is the ass kissing.
Mm.
Yeah, they'll make the military freaking happy as hell, but they're gonna make their own employees' lives miserable.
Yeah, but ultimately the military probably don't care as long as the job's done. Well, actually, maybe not. I guess kissed, depending on who they kiss in the military.
They're going to abuse their employees. They are going to work them like dogs, and they are going to underpay them at every turn.
Yeah.
So,
Which is a shame because they're probably getting pretty penny from the military, from us taxpayers.
I mean, it's frustrating. Like, there's one woman there in one of the sections I worked at. Now, mind you, I probably had close to it was 2019, so I had 15 years logistical experience at this point. If you throw in Sarah Lee, which you could
Yeah.
pretty much count Sarah Lee because even though it was retail, it was a grocery store of sorts. That's still technically supply. That's still technically logistics. You know, you're still ordering supplies. You're still storing them away. You're still pulling you're still pulling merchandise. You're still putting them on shelves, right? Facing the store and everything. You're still doing with customer service and all that. So you could count that as well. At that point, you could say, okay, he's been doing customer service or he's been doing logistics 18 years. There's a woman that was hired for like I think HR or something. No, it wasn't HR. Her job was hired. She was hired to be a scanner.
Does she just scan in the items or something in the inventory? Is that what it is? Or?
How,
That's all she
literally,
does?
their whole job is, hey, once we finish these documents for the week, we bring it to
that kind of scanning.
scanners, and their whole entire position is just to scan in these documents into these and file over the documents, the folder. But they scan in the documents so they have the digital copies as well.
Yeah.
So she was hired as a scanner, no logistical background. Yet somehow she was eventually hired to be a logistician, but not just hired as a logistician. Later on, she was hired to be she was promoted to senior logistician.
Whoa.
And I have her hanging over my shoulders when I was moved to her section.
Oh, really?
And she was my section lead. I had her hovering over my shoulder, telling me what to do and telling me I'm wrong and to follow this SOP. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude?
Was she
No.
Was she a Nepo hire or something? Why did she get promoted? Did she know someone or something?
It's favoritism.
Yeah, clearly.
That job really was a high school popularity contest. If you've been with the company X amount of years and you have been with big bosses, you are going to get hired. But like that bothered me. Like,
yeah.
No military background, no logistical background, and I hated being talked down to like an idiot. Like, dude, don't worry, I got this.
Especially
but like I was
brand
new to the section. Yeah, I was brand new to the section, and like I'm trying to. Like it was like the 20th of the month, and I had to do like an entire month's worth of backlog to get everything out by the end of the month, so that by time the next month started up, and we got to get out the next month's hand receipts and everything. So for like 2 months straight, while everybody else was just like easy breezy, walking around, going out to the PX, drinking coffee all day, like not doing anything for like 2 months straight. I could not leave my desk. For the entire day I was there, I just did nothing but work my ass off because it was nonstop. Because I was catching up with all this backlog.
Why'd they have such a backlog? They weren't doing their job?
No, because I was taking over for someone. Plus, I was taking on work from the other, maybe a Dodak or two from other from other workers, people that were there. So, since they had a new employee, maybe they had 12 Dodaks. And now they're down to 10 each because each of them gave me 2. So maybe now I'm up to like 12 or 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do all this work for 15 different units. And this 15, just because this unit has 1 Dodak or I'm sorry, 15 UICs. I said Dodak. This unit might have 1 UIC, but they might have 5 different Dodaks. So
what's a UIC?
It's like,
what's a Dodak?
Unit identification code.
Okay.
And Dodak is the Department of Defense address activity code, I believe, if I recall correctly.
Okay. I love the acronyms.
Yeah. So, like, it was frustrating, like how and my brain like every day was about to pop, like explode. And like I said, I had this boss. I was like always hovering over my head, like, dude, I don't need your pressure, like. And I'm pretty sure she was going to her boss, like, make it sound like I was working slow. Like, no, dude, like I got here at the end of the month, and you're asking me to backlog an entire month's worth of work. And yeah, I'm behind because look at when I got here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working another section where we were working on the coalition forces very few units of the coalition forces, so a lot easier to manage. But now you're asking me to jump on the big army side, U.S. Army side, and I'm covering like probably 5 times as many units. Yeah, the work was hectic. So, plus every now and then you had to break away. You had to do change of command meetings and everything. Those usually take about an hour and a half to do those ceremonies or meetings and whatnot. So, man, it was frustrating.
When that was the shitty company that treated employees.
Yeah, I mean, it was good experience and everything. Don't get me wrong, but it was just run so poorly.
Yeah, well, you can see why then. If your boss is who you say she was, and that was probably not the only boss that was promoted beyond their ability, right? What are the odds that you got the only boss? Probably.
No.
Yeah. So you can see why it'd be poorly run, filled with bosses who don't know what they're doing. Yeah, Lance was talking about TikTok and Twitch. I don't TikTok enough, but some of the Twitch things are kind of weird. I don't know what somebody gets out of them. I only watch it for free, but somehow you can make money twitching. I don't know if I enjoy it enough. Or they have other channels too, like they'll together or something. I think it started as video games though. You watch somebody play video games.
Thanks for your service to the Taliban. That's funny. What an asshole. But that's funny.
And they never said anything else. They must have swiped up or whatever. They moved on, probably. I thought about deleting it, but I hadn't heard much from them since. Not like that one person the other night. I think I put him in timeout finally for a day. The one that kept coming on like Heather O'Rourke. Remember that? I think I put him on timeout for 5 or 10 minutes, just being nice, because that's a new feature. I guess moderators can do it. I didn't know you could do that. And then as soon as his timeout must have been up, he started posting again about she liked Heather O'Rourke again. I'm like, okay, we got it. You know, he's saying the same thing over and over again. I gave you a chance to change your tune or move on, and he didn't. So I think I finally gave him a 24-hour time. But I gave him like 2 5-10 minute timeouts, and each time they came back. Yeah, we got it. You like Heather O'Rourke, creep? That's interesting, I guess. Weirdo. Talk about the rapture and stuff. Not sure that's how it works. She passed away when she was a kid, so I don't think she's going to join you in the rapture. She might be in heaven if you get raptured, but I don't think that's how the rapture works.
Crustables.
Ooh, what are we having?
Crustable.
You want one?
No. Or is it an uncrustable?
Uncrustable.
That was close.
They are, aren't they? I was thinking when you say crustable, sounded weird.
Uncrustable, apparently.
Do they sell crustables with the crustable? Wouldn't that be a crustable if it came with the crust?
Man, my wife and Kirk are like the only 2 people that I know that are obsessed with those damn things.
I used to. They're not super good for me, so
they're like little frozen peanut butter sandwiches, peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, do you keep them in the deep freeze or the fridge or both? Can you eat them out of the freezer in a while?
We keep them in the
freezer. Does she warm hers up then, or does she just eat them right out of the freezer?
Well, she just took hers right out of the freezer.
Yeah, so. That's what I used to do. I thought maybe it'd take a little bit to warm up, or maybe. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. You're overpaying for a peanut butter sandwich, but I would eat too many of them. I'm like, okay. I go to like Sam's Club or whatever, get a big box of them. It's supposed to last like a month, and then last a week, and you're like, okay, maybe I should. I didn't so much. I mean, it's peanut butter and jelly. That's great, and no crust. They're really tasty, nice snack. But I don't end up eating one. I eat 2 or 3. Like, okay, I stopped that. If you don't buy them, you can't eat them. That was my problem. You got a stuffy nose. See, the 23rd.
Man, on our porch, we got our table, and we got this little umbrella thing. You turn it on, and the little umbrella pops open. But the damn thing keeps coming off the little spider arms that when you wind up. So I had to go out there and try to put the top over the little plastic spider arms, And I'm like, you know what, screw this. I'm just winding it up to keep this thing spread out all over. But I'm
Mhm.
gonna wind it up far enough that when it opens all the way up, it's scratching up against the side of the house. That way it's scratching against the side of the house and it's tight up against the wall. So if the wind goes and it blows like crazy, it's moving. It's stuck in the house. It's not going to move. At least that's my hope.
Mm.
Because I looked outside the window this morning and that darn whole entire freaking table was like pushed all the way to the edge of the porch. I'm like, God damn, that wind was strong. And it already knocked the darn cover off that. I call it spider arms. I don't know how to call it, but I'm like, it's been off for weeks. I'm like, I just took my lazy bit out there finally and fixed it today. But
So you got to take that down each time because the wind. It gets windy here too.
yeah, and we were supposed to put. I guess there's a little bottom piece. You're supposed to put sand and little feet on the bottom underneath the table
Talk
to
about.
keep the table stationary, so that when the wind does blow, it doesn't move. But we never did. So now that little square piece sits on the table, but it doesn't do anything because there's no extra weight on it.
Yeah,
But man, I'm telling you, like once this deck is finished,
you're gonna
that
do that.
backyard is going to be the place to be.
Mm-hmm. So you have to put sand in there so it won't blow away. Leave it out and go out to your
Yeah,
table.
yes, I'm gonna. The problem is the only bad thing. This state, the city in particular, it does nothing but freaking rain.
Oh,
And that drives me crazy because I want to put the hammock out and I want to leave the hammock. I don't have to take it down every time we want to sit out there, right? But if I could just leave that thing wound up and have it spread out the entire time, never have to lower it. If I could just leave that hammock sit out there all day, every day, never have to take that off, that would be awesome. But you always have to worry about rain every single day.
and the hammock gets
Yeah,
wet. Then you have to dry it off if you want to use it very quickly.
absolutely.
Yeah. Is it like a freestanding hammock? Buddy of mine, his wife, he bought them.
It's got like this metal.
Yes. Yeah, so you don't have to put it between trees or anything like that. It comes with its own support. Yeah.
It's
I
got
didn't even know
no.
there were modern hammocks like that, but she had one. It looked kind of neat. Oh, that's a good idea because you always see like your Homer Simpson or your type person, and the hammock set up between trees. And I'm like, yeah, probably people don't do that, do they? No, you don't. You get a. I guess freestanding. I don't know what you call it, but it comes with its own supports. Yeah. So you don't have to have even if you don't have any trees, you can sit out in your hammock.
Dude, I'm freaking watching this damn Survivor. And I'm watching Survivor. I'm on Survivor 48 right now. And they just voted out number 7 or the 7th to last person. So they're down to 6 people now. Survivor 48 is awesome. The season overall has been quality. So I'm enjoying the season overall. Don't get me wrong. But this last vote is really frustrating the living hell out of me. I swear to God, this season everyone is so freaking afraid to make a move, and it's pissing me off. I'm like, this is not how the game of Survivor is supposed to be played.
Mm-hmm.
The one dude, the big buff dude who my wife calls the Rock, and I'm like, you look at him, he's like, freaking does look like a damn rock.
The Rock.
But I think Survivor is. I don't think it's real. I think it's scripted. And I think
I can see that.
because I read that the guy Joe, who is a firefighter on the show, he's going to be starring in Chicago Fire as the new fire chief or something.
Oh,
Probably for like of Firehouse 51.
going to be an actor.
And if that's the case, it says he's a firefighter on Survivor. That's what he does for a living. Now, could they have just cast a real life firefighter to act on the show? Maybe. Or maybe that these people are all paid actors, and the entire time we've been thinking that we've been watching, authentic reality and it's not. And then you go back and you actually watch this stuff, and you see all the camera angles and everything, and you just realize, you know what? this got to be scripted. There's no way in hell that some of this stuff, the way that they're presented, the conversations they're having, the fact that there seems to be a cameraman everywhere at the right time. There's no way in hell that this stuff is not scripted.
Like
There's no way it's scripted.
like modern wrestling, they don't call the matches anymore. It's all scripted. I could see that. It used to be, I think they would make sure to have the right editing. They do it, fix it in editing, or they have the right camera angles and stuff. Maybe they've just given up and said, let's just edit in the drama. We'll script it in instead of hoping for the best or making big things into dramatic things through editing. Probably gets harder to do. I don't know if people are actors or maybe have acting abilities. Maybe be the term.
But this Joe guy, he's been winning like almost all the immunity challenges. So you're down to 7 people. He did not win the immunity challenge. You have 4 people willing to vote for Joe. Get rid of him from the competition. What do? They all vote for Mary, who is like the easiest freaking vote. And I'm like, why would you vote her out? She makes no sense. To be honest, if she's one of the last 3 people standing on, none of the people that's on that jury is gonna vote for her to give her the $1 million. So if anything, you want her to be on the last 3 because that's one less person you got to worry about the jury giving that $1 million to.
Yeah,
and you just got to give a better story than the second person.
Joe keeps winning. You need to get rid of him because he keeps winning. You
exactly.
Can't vote him out. The one time you got a chance to vote him out, where he didn't win an immunity challenge.
And it's so infuriating that every single time you have an opportunity to make a big move and get the big hitter out, they're too scared to do it. And I'm like, this is about the dumbest gameplay I've seen in Survivor. Mm-hmm. Now, I thought Survivor 45 and Survivor 46, I thought both of those were really horrible seasons. Like, I think there's probably 1 or 2 characters from each season that I was probably a fan of and I was actually rooting for. Other than that, I thought 45 and 46 were like horrible, horrible seasons. Not enjoyable to watch at all.
Mm-hmm.
And 47 was so much better. Like, thank God this was a good season. 48 has been enjoyable overall, but like after that last episode, I'm like, man, I can't even watch another episode right now. I gotta take a break. That was so infuriating
because the voting was so stupid. Yeah.
But
I believe how many seasons? 48, 49, 50?
Well, they're on Survivor 50 right now.
That's a lot of Survivor.
I mean, it's been on, what, 25 years?
Has it been that long? People still watching it? Because then they have 2 seasons. Do they have basically about 2, I guess, seasons a year? Seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never really watched Survivor. Is Amazing Race still on then, too?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't start watching Survivor until probably after I got home from Iraq in the beginning of 2022. So I probably started watching Survivor, if not 2022, maybe 2023. Like, not on TV. I started watching it probably on Netflix or Hulu or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Catching up. Is it different enough? Do you ever get bored? Like it's the same thing over and over again, or do they somehow mix it up? Because the game's the same each time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's the same. I mean, they change out some games here and there, but I mean, they keep a lot of traditional games for the most part. But
people change.
I mean, the new characters, it helps when they keep bringing back same characters over and over again.
Oh, do they?
Same players. Like there's some like I think in season 50 they brought back Coach, for example, and I think Coach has been on Survivor like 4 or 5 times.
Jeez.
Like I've seen him in at least 2 different seasons. Now I haven't seen every season of Survivor, and I watched a lot of seasons out of order, of course.
He's never won.
So I don't remember what seasons I've seen because I watched so many out of order.
Yeah.
But I think he's been on like 4 or 5 seasons already, and I'm like, dude, and I think he's won a season if I'm not mistaken. I'm like, dude, you've won already. Like, go home. You don't need to play Survivor anymore.
Why do they keep having him back? I guess he's entertaining or something.
Well, Survivor 50 was supposed to be the fans' choice, and they were supposed to vote for who they wanted to see in Survivor 50. But now they have what they call the Billie Eilish idol. And I'm like, oh my, because she's supposed to be a super fan or something. I'm like, that's so stupid. Billie Eilish is so freaking lame. And apparently they're having guest stars. Like I'm reading about this because apparently I keep having the Survivor guest or fan page keep coming on my Facebook feed every single day. So I kind of see what's happening just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I'm not watching Survivor 50, I kind of know what's happening a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully I'm not seeing everything because, like I said, I still want to watch the show when it airs or when I get to season 50, and I want to be surprised when something.
Because you don't have CBS or Paramount or anything to watch the current season on.
I mean, yeah, I think you can still watch that on Hulu or something.
Okay, but you
I
haven't.
think that's where we're watching it.
But you haven't been watching the current season.
Yeah, either watching it on Hulu or Amazon or something. So,
But
I mean, once we finish 40, 49, we'll probably go straight into 50.
oh yeah, so you're just trying to.
But my wife and I have been taking breaks. Like instead of watching at least one episode a day, there's certain days we might have gone 2 or 3 days without watching it. Like there's one episode we watched and like, damn, it's been a week before we watched this new episode because it's been a long ass time since we saw this one person get voted out. I'm like, damn, really? But it's a good show, man. I enjoy it a lot. I'm like, I would like to go on something like Survivor, but
would you?
I feel like I talk about it. I think Fox's Extracted would probably be a better show for me. I think I could do better, as a lone survivalist on Extracted than I could on Survivor.
What's that noise? Oh, I had like a weird noise. I think it's garbage. There's garbage. What's Extracted?
11 players get sent out to Canadian woods, and they got to survive on their own for however long it takes for the player to win. And 2 of their family members or friends get sent to home base, and at some point, if their family or friends extract them, push the big red button, extract, they get pulled from the game.
Oh,
And over time, it really has nothing to do with the person that's in the woods. Like they really don't have a choice more times than not. It really all depends on who's in the home base making the calls. It's really their gameplay that really it determines how well the person in the woods does, because they have the opportunity to send them food or a poncho or clothing, a tarp or something like that, blankets or fire, maybe some fishing gear or something.
so the winner of that, how long do they have to survive?
Could be 2 weeks, could be a month, could be a month and a half. It all depends on how long the players stay out there before they start breaking and start asking their family to start extracting them.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like fun. What do you get if you win?
I think the prize is 250,000.
Okay. Survivor's $1 million.
Yeah. But I think depending on who you are, what can you do for yourself? Like if you know how to build your own fire, if you know how to fish and all that, like I think you could do really well out there. I can't do either of that crap, so I would probably suck. But like I love cold weather. Like I don't like to be freezing my ass off, obviously.
That'll be the thing.
So like it's 20 degrees out there, and all I'm wearing is this. I'm gonna be freaking shivering. I'm probably dying out there, but like if it's 40 degrees and I got a jacket on or something, like I'll probably be cold, but like I'll survive like that. I'm not gonna be sitting like there. Oh my god, it's 40 degrees. I got a jacket on it, and I'm shivering, and oh my god, I'm gonna die. Come please extract. No, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I've never heard this game show. Game show? It is basically a modern game show, isn't it?
Kind of like a real movie, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
Wheel of Fortune. It's Extracted.
It's on Hulu, so you could probably catch up. I don't know if they have the first season on there, but I mean, I think they've had about 5 episodes or so of this season 2.
Oh, okay, so fairly recent show. Yeah, I don't get into those shows too much. Never have for some reason. But I didn't really think about it. But those are basically modern game shows. I mean, I guess Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy is still around, but well, yeah, and Price is Right still around. Drew Carey, I think, hosts it. But these are the new game shows, in a way.
Yeah, what's fun is Sandra. She's a character. She's a character that appeared on Survivor multiple times. You know, she's probably been on Survivor like 4 times herself, and she won Survivor twice.
Wow, twice.
And yeah, and she was unextracted. Now she wasn't in the woods. She was one of the family members,
Interesting.
but her guy, I think that was her brother or something, maybe.
Okay.
He didn't make it very long out there. Like he was probably like the third or fourth person extracted.
Yeah.
So
You'd think with winning Survivor twice, they would have to keep playing these games. You share some of her money with her brother, so he wouldn't have to go unextracted. I don't know. Right?
I mean, I think this was his way of showing, like, hey, if she could do Survivor, like he could probably do Extracted or something, and show that it's not that hard. And then and then I guess when he showed up after he had been extracted, she's like, you see, it's not that easy.
And Extracted liked having Survivor celebrity on there because she's on Survivor 3 or 4 times, right?
Yep, and everybody saw that. Everybody saw that she was on extra, so knew who she was.
Yeah.
So of course, everybody's trying to get him out immediately because they know what kind of person Sandra is. They know that she's cutthroat and everything. So obviously, they're trying to get them out as quickly as possible. But she wasn't so bad. She played the game right and fair. So she was about as honest as possible. She wasn't the Sandra cutthroat that you would think like she would be in Survivor. So
what did her brother find begged to get extracted?
Yeah. And even when she won Survivor 20, I still think that she played a fair game for the most part. Even then, villains versus heroes, which technically I think Russ deserved to win that season. I think he was in the finals in season 19. He came back for heroes versus villains in season 20, and he was in finals again. I think he deserved to win both of those.
Oh dang!
I mean, he was the biggest freaking asshole in Survivor history, but you know what? Nobody has ever played a better game than Russell Hans. I'm saying it.
But hasn't won yet, huh?
No, and he'll probably never be back on the game. I mean, everybody knows who he is. They know what kind of game he plays. They know they can't be trusted. And at this point, nobody's ever going to vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a damn shame because the man, like I said, he plays Survivor. He goes idol hunting. He finds his idols. He gets his little Stewies to vote with him.
Yeah.
That he controls. He plays his idols the right way. Whether he plays them on himself or he plays it for his little Stewies, so they keep them in the game, so they vote with him. So he runs. He controls the game. He has his little alliances. He makes moves to target people at the right time. He brings down the competitors. Like that's what helped get him all the way to the finals. And the only reason he hasn't won is because people don't like him.
Mm. Yeah.
Because he's a liar and disloyal. But you know what? He did the best job possible to get to the finals. But
just couldn't quite win. Hard, I assume. How many people start Survivor? Like 20 or so, or
18?
18. It's kind of a weird number. Yeah, I don't know too much about Survivor. Seen it once or twice. Get the idea. Eventually, vote on a week. I don't know if I've ever seen a final Survivor. Maybe I have. What do they end up with? How many people are in at the end? Before they just is it just 2?
And then they brought it up to 3. But I always like the fact that they have 3 because it gives an extra person an opportunity to win. But at the end of the day, I feel like that's also stupid because nobody ever votes for the third person. And if the third person does get a vote, it's more like a pity vote, I think. And
Hmm.
realistically, there's only 2 people that actually ever get votes. And sometimes, if there's like, let's say 8 people on the jury, you might have 8 people vote for the first person, or maybe 7 people vote for person 1, and 1 person votes for person 2, 0 for person 3, or 6-2 to 0 or something. But it's got to be embarrassing for that third person to realize that, hey, when we're on the when we go to tribal council, we're explaining like why we deserve to win that $1 million, and all of these guys are talking about why they deserve it, how they played their game, and then here I am, and I don't have any resume. I have nothing to talk about as to how I played the game and why I deserve to win, because there's really nothing. Oh, well, I'm here because I was a number for you. I was on the bottom, and there's no resume. I couldn't make any big moves, and and everybody else just brought me along because they knew that nobody would vote for me at the end.
Mm.
Basically, that is my pitch, and that's going to give me 0 votes.
You're like a pawn or something.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Huh. Because then the people who are voted off are the ones that vote for the winner, right? That's how it works.
It's usually like the most popular person,
But
or
gameplay, that's how it works. So normally, all the contestants are voting to vote someone off, but when you get down to the final 2 or 3, they bring back all the people who were previously voted off, and those vote on who wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like I said, maybe I've seen it once or twice. But I never think to watch it. I don't know. I've got Paramount, so I think they have. I think it's on Paramount. At least the new season is. It's a CBS show, I think. But I've been confused by that before.
Survivor 20, Heroes versus Villains. That's one of my favorite seasons. And Survivor 30, the guy that wins Survivor 30, like, for whatever reason, I don't know, this season or last season, some guy was complaining like, you don't want to be this Mike guy, and whatever his last name was. And I'm like, I don't know why not. That freaking guy dominated for like 5 or 6 episodes. Every freaking episode, everybody was like, he was gone. They were going to vote him out.
Mm-hmm.
But what did he do? He went on a mission to win every single immunity challenge, so that they had no choice. They couldn't vote him out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he finally lost, guess what? He found a freaking hidden immunity idol.
Oh.
So they still couldn't vote him out, and he played his immunity idol, and bam, he was able to get the person he wanted out. And then he came back, bam, one meeting again, still couldn't be voted out. And then right at the end, the one girl, she stood up and like, look, I know you guys may not like him, but you have no choice in that. You can't deny the fact that he played the best game possible. I mean, when his back was against the wall, it was win or go home, and he won every single one. So there really was no other choice. So I feel like for immunity,
he ended up winning.
I mean, he won season 30.
Yeah.
I had to look it up because I forgot what season that was.
That's pretty good.
But season 30, I mean, that Mike guy, that was like one of my favorite winners, if not my favorite. And I felt like that was a guy that truly deserved, to win.
An actual survivor.
Yeah, Boston Rob in his season. I mean, that was a no-brainer. Boston Rob's season, the season he won, that was an infuriating season because almost from the get-go, it's like there was absolutely no challenge. It's probably the only season in Survivor history where from the start of the season to the ending, there was never any question who was going to win. Rob was like the godfather, and he was controlling that season all the way from the beginning. When the tribes merged, he was pulling all the strings. And it was funny as hell. The 2 people he brought with him, his 2 Stoolies.
I like the idea of calling him a Stewie. Thinking of family. But Stewie is probably what you're thinking of. I like the idea of calling him a Stewie. It's funny.
Stoolies. Most Stewie. I mean, they both work, but Stewie is probably the proper word, but whatever. I'll call him Stewie. Stoolies. That he brought with him because they were in his back pocket. They were his alliance.
His students. Mm-hmm.
But they, hey, Gillian, what's going on? But they stood up there at the end of the tribal council, and Boston Rob did not have to say a word. This is Boston Rob at the end. So, Boston Rob, why do you think you deserve $1 million? This is literally all he had to do to win that $1 million. He did not have to say a single word.
Because all the people loved him?
No, because the other two people, instead of arguing for themselves, they gave you all the reason in the world why he deserved to win that $1 million. Like, I could not believe what the hell I was hearing.
Wow.
I'm like, dudes, shut the F up.
Why would they do that? That's weird.
Like the entire time, it was like, oh, Boston Rob told me to do this, and I followed his directions completely. Or Rob told me to do that, and I made sure to follow those directions. Or Rob told me to do that. Like, dude, what are you doing? Shut up! Stop talking! Oh my God! Like, it was Rob told me to do this, and Rob told me to do that. But what moves did you make on your own? What moves did you make to alter the course of the game? Right?
Yeah. Galena remembered. I forgot too. So when you're done here, we'll talk about that.
I remember. I was just waiting for you to come back onto the.
Oh, good. I totally forgot about it.
But yeah.
Huh. Is that similar to? We can wrap it up here. If you remember, Who Wants to Be? Is it Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Where they ask you the question, and you got like a phone a friend and eliminated. Right? You had 3 lifelines, whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I didn't really watch that series, but I know all about it. I mean, I've seen previews or I've seen clips and stuff.
I don't know if I ever finished one, but I do remember seeing this clip of this guy who knew the answer to the last question for the $1 million, but he still had to phone a friend, and he used it to call. I think his dad used to tell him he was a millionaire. He didn't need his help. He knew the answer. He just wanted to. It kind of like that. Kind of reminded me of the Rob story. He's just like, I'm going to use my phone a friend just to call my mom. I think it was his dad. Could have been his mom, but he already knew the answer. He just wanted to let him know I won. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire before he answered it. Imagine if he would have answered it wrong. He didn't. He got it right, but that's kind of like the spiking the ball and doing the touchdown. It's kind of a witty way to use it if you still have your phone a friend. But, I thought that was pretty cute.
There was one person, maybe it was like, "Are you smarter than a 5th grader or something?"
Oh, I forgot about that show.
And one of this blonde girl, like she was like a really smart, like scientist type, and her dad was like super genius too, I guess. But like she actually made it to the end. I mean, nobody ever makes it to the end. Like she was going to win $1 million, and the question was like, who broke the sound barrier?
Oh, she didn't know.
And she gave, I guess, she gave a good answer, but like it wasn't the right one, and we lost $1 million. And then I think Jeff Foxworthy looks over at her father, like, "Do you know the answer?" And the father looks at him like, "Jaeger." And then the daughter looks at the father like, "Charles Jaeger." And then Jeff, he's like, Jeff Foxworthy's like, "Yeah, Charles Jaeger." I'm like, God damn. Like she once he said Jaeger, she knew his name, Charles Jaeger. So she knew the answer apparently.
Did she guessed it wrong, or did she draw a blank when they?
No, she guessed something different, and then Jeff Foxworthy asked the father if he knew the answer, and he knew the answer.
Oh, that sucks. I don't think I ever finished those either. I remember the show, but I don't know if I watched one to completion. Who Wants to Be Who's Smart fifth grader? Yeah. So, you want to talk about your most scary, terrifying, worst?
So, for me, there's always one event that always stands out, and for like the longest time, for like almost 20 years, man, or I don't say 20, I'm gonna say over 15 years though. I've always said I've always had a problem talking about military service, and it took me a long time to seek help or whatever, because I think a lot of soldiers, we all feel the same way. There's always people that we feel like need a lot more help than we do, right?
Oh,
And, and it wasn't until I was in Syria in 2021, and I was in the MWR one day, and Chaplain was in there, and I was talking to him, and he basically said this to me, not verbatim, but don't ever let your military experiences, don't ever make it seem like they weren't as worse as anyone else's. Essentially, don't ever downplay your experiences. Essentially, something to that effect.
hmm.
And so when I came home, one of the things I needed to do was obviously go seek help or whatever, because for what I say, 20 years, over 20 years now. I mean, I've always had, bad dreams, trouble sleeping, nightmares, stuff like that. And when I talk to my doctors, I know that stuff is never going away. That's why they put me on different medicine, sleep medicine, medicine to help with anxiety and whatnot. Obviously, I still got paranoia and stuff. And like that. What is it called? Fluoxetine medicine. It's supposed to help with that. And I think that fluoxetine really has helped because with stuff that's been happening the last couple weeks, you would think that I would be on here, really going off crazy, making complaints and stuff, and like I haven't. Like I've been really chill and laid back, and
That's good.
it's been. I think the medicine is been a real positive for me, so I'm glad that I have this to really help out big time. So, and I mentioned this in a couple comments as well, but I've talked about this a few times on the channel, so now that I'm actually a little bit more comfortable, talking to the public about it, uh, I still think about it to this day. But my first deployment to Iraq, we were in Camp Liberty, Iraq, which is by Baghdad International Airport, and one of our missions was a barrier mission. We were delivering concrete T-walls to a Camp Rusty Maya. And so we get to Rusty Maya. I jump out of my PLS truck and I mount the truck. I get on top and I'm helping unratchet the T walls while the crane is taking them off the back of the truck, off the flatbed. Now, unbeknownst to me, did you hear a gunshot out in the distance? I didn't realize at the time. I just heard a gunshot, and
Hmm.
again, it's from afar. But there's soldiers on the ground level, and they're flashing their flashlight just over my head. I look up. There's like a little bullet right above my head. So about imagine this my head helmet goes about this high, much higher. So the bullet was about right here, and I'm like, son of a bitch, just freaking shot at me. So apparently, what these snipers are doing is, they will take a shot at soldiers and then skedaddle. And they do that because obviously they've got soldiers in towers and stuff. One shot, soldiers looking for you. Second shot, they know where you are, and then they could send a quick reaction force team after you and take your ass out. So um, they're not sitting there and getting into a gun battle. They're shooting one time, trying to hit somebody and running like cowards.
Hmm.
So I see that I almost have my damn head taken off, and like my freaking heart feels like it's about to shoot out my damn head. Like I'm freaking nervous as hell. Like mother effer, I almost freaking died. Like
Hmm.
I'm almost full on panic attack at this point. And I'm looking down, and I think what most irritated me about this is the soldiers on the damn ground laughing at this. Apparently, this is something familiar with them, but they're laughing, having a giddy old time about this.
It was close to shooting you in the head.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm like, how is that? In what reality is that damn funny?
It's
Like,
not
I
too
don't.
far away.
Even if it was a damn Saving Private Ryan scene where guy gets shot in the head and the damn bullet bounces off his helmet. What happened after that? He takes off his helmet, looks at it, and then the next scene is a damn bullet clocking the guy in the head. I'm like, why would you take off your helmet, dude? I'm like,
Hmm.
so stupid. That scene still bothers me. Why would you take off your helmet after that helmet just saved your life? But
Hmm.
anyways, I tell my NCO about this. My squad leader, he was my TC, my truck commander for this mission. He starts laughing at me. I'm like, mother.
What the?
Now I get you. I get it. Sometimes when I'm in uncomfortable positions and I don't know what to say or something, I kind of smile or laugh too, uh, because again, it's not because you find it funny or humorous, but because it's uncomfortable and you just don't know how to react in certain
Don't know what to do.
situations. But that case, that wasn't about him being uncomfortable or anything. Um, and if he was uncomfortable as a non-commissioned officer, he should have had a better reaction. He should have known appropriate way to respond, a better way to talk to a damn young soldier at that point.
Damn.
So I don't know. It probably was around 2021 when I told my wife that story for the first time. Like I never wanted her to know that scene
How close you were.
because because I didn't want her ever worried about me because it's not like that was my first combat deployment. I mean, that was right smack in the middle of my 12 months, and then once I got back home, a year and a half later, I was going on a 15-month tour. So knowing that crap happened, and then knowing that after military service, I was going back overseas as a contractor, but that shit resonates with me. I think that's one of the major reasons. Like, and it's not just from that, but it's gunfire in general. It's mortar attacks in general. Like whenever you hear like a fork or a spoon hit the ground, and you hear gunfire when you hear that.
Dude.
Any sort of rattling around, you hear explosions or something. I came home and like November of '06, and let's say by July of '07, 4th of July, and little kids were those little small firecrackers, the smallest, most pathetic firecrackers in the world. They're like that big. You just throw them on the ground and they make little popping sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, every kid that's ever existed have had those firecrackers and played with those. Those little suckers were like giving me top-notch anxiety, almost heart palpitations, everything. And all they were doing, kids were doing, just throwing it like outside my door when I lived
Yeah.
on Fort Hood. So that just showed how bad the panic attacks and stuff were getting, and anxiety and whatnot. And I wasn't getting seen for anything. I wasn't getting treated for anything. I wasn't taking any medicine, and God knows how much better I could have been health wise if I probably had sick something. But again, I was too proud, and for over a decade, I didn't seek no help and didn't go to no hospital, do nothing to better myself, and I live with that stuff.
Hmm.
And sleep was horrible.
That whole
You know,
time.
I still talk about it. Like my sleep still sucks. The VA prescribed me trazodone, and that helps me sleep a whole lot better. Usually, I might get 45 minutes of sleep a night to 2 hours if I'm lucky.
Wow.
Nowadays, I mean, maybe I'll get a few hours, but the thing is, it doesn't take me. If I go to bed at 9 o'clock, let's say, it's not going to take me until 1:30 in the morning to fall asleep. If I go to bed at let's say 11, maybe I can fall asleep by 12 or 1 or something, and maybe I could stay asleep until, let's say, 5, or maybe I could stay asleep until 4:30. Maybe I'll wake up a little bit. Maybe I'll doze off maybe, 45 minutes or 30 minutes later, and, maybe I'll stay asleep until, like, 8 or whenever the sun comes up
Hmm.
or something. So it's segments like that, like, really screw with your head, and it really didn't help that that same deployment, our unit or our more importantly, our battalion, our company, our squad was running the retrograde yard. because we were the SSA, so we were a logistics company, and we were the warehouse platoon. So we were in charge of the retrograde, which was turning in all of the camp's vehicles to Kuwait for turning. Some of that crap, man, and guys, I see all the questions. We are going to get to you. I just want to say this stuff before it gets before I lose track of what I want to say.
Right.
Some of that turn-ins means damaged and destroyed property. And what is some of that damaged and destroyed items? We're talking blown up armored Humvees and LMT PLSs and things of that nature.
Oh, there we go.
So, and when mortuary and like, if you're going on a mission and you hit an IED or something, the 1114s flip or something, the up armored Humvees, they flip or something. There's obviously damage. Maybe the cars are blown up, the trucks are blown up, tires are and axles are all blown off. Maybe doors ripped off. There's people, soldiers inside, body parts, blood, stuff flying everywhere. Mortuary affairs, when they take the soldiers out, they take the body. They will try and get as many limbs or anything that might be in the vehicle if they see it, but they don't sit there and scrub down the trucks or anything like that. So a lot of times I'm not saying every single damaged truck that came in was like that, but a lot of time we would get those trucks in and you'd get into the trucks because you need to clean it out, make sure there's no garbage, debris, anything inside. And you would literally see these IED blown up trucks. You see this Humvee that's blown up, and you'd see blood all over the place, and you could smell that blood, and blood is very distinctive.
Yeah.
It's iron, penny smell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell what I was picking up, but I swear I was picking up body parts, man. I don't think so. Like, I don't know for sure, but some of that shit was squishy as hell. It was nasty, and knowing that people died in some of those trucks, it had to be. Right, and that right there was gross as hell. And you know how hard it was to breathe in those damn trucks. It's not like they give you masks or anything to protect you. Like, you don't know what the hell you're breathing in as either. And then they want you to wash. Like, what are we washing this with? Dawn soap, rags. Like, what are we supposed to be cleaning this stuff with? Like, they don't give you cleaning materials or nothing. Like, clean the trucks. Like it was so freaking stupid at some of the things they ask you to do.
Well, what were you going to do with these trucks? Were they going to rebuild them?
If some of them they probably would, but most of them they probably just destroy them.
So like
Other trucks, I'm pretty sure they probably sell to coalition forces. But a lot of stuff they could probably send back to Kuwait, and because you gotta imagine these are like anywhere between $500,000 to $1.5 million vehicles. So even if it costs, if it costs if this MRAP over here, let's say, is a $3 million truck, and it costs $600,000 to buy brand new, spare parts to fix it up, they're going to spend that $600,000 for spare parts to repair it because it's $3 million truck. They're not just going to give that up. But I don't think we had. Yes, we did. We had MRAP. Well, no, we didn't. Hold on, I'm thinking. I think we had MRAPs in 2008, 2009. I don't think we had any in 2006, 2005, 2006 timeframe. Yeah. I don't think we had any MRAPs in that period. And they're just like these big mine resistant, I forget what they're called. Mine resistant, I forget what the AP stands for. But it's supposed to have like this big old, looks like a little flattener at the front of the truck, so that if it hits an IED, that part of the truck gets blown up and not the truck itself. but it's like it's gripping a huge flattener arm in front of the truck. So if you're driving down the road, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Another sacrificial pawn. It takes the damage, hopefully, and leaves the rest
yeah,
of the okay and the people inside, hopefully.
and plus the MRAPs, I mean, they stand so far off the ground. So again, if you're driving over an ID and the ID goes off, you're so far off the ground that the goal is that it's not gonna damage the truck significantly. Plus, it's metal all around, so all that armor, you would hope that it would protect from an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they really upgraded their trucks significantly to protect the soldiers as much as humanly possible. Oh man, now I'm gonna kind of go back because I know I'm way behind on comments here.
I don't think you're too bad. A lot of it's from Galena. That's about as scary as you can get. I still don't get the laughing, but
I mean, it's like when a mortar comes into your base, and like you might see a civilian, immediately run to get on their flak vest and helmet and run to a shelter, and your average person is like, that mortar just hit 5 feet away from me, but hey, I'm just sitting here chilling, just walking about my business, going about my day, because mortar attacks are so freaking common, and you're so used to it. But not to say that when the freaking mortar comes in, you're like, it's not freaking scary. Like, of course, man, you like hell. That hits you, you're freaking dead. It's a freaking it's an explosive, dude. But I don't know what the hell what is wrong with, I don't know, what is it, Taliban in Afghanistan? Um, what was the Iraqi? I forget what the Iraqi forces were. ISIS. Maybe it was
is
ISIS.
that done right? Yeah,
I think it was ISIS.
it wasn't Al
But
Qaeda.
oh, maybe it was, or
Was it?
whatever, man.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. I don't know what's up with those guys, but they had a freaking field day with our porta johns.
Destroying
They
mortars and
like
stuff.
they were in love with. They are in love with porta johns, man. Like whenever that freaking mortar came in, without fail, it would always hit a damn. It would always come into our damn motor pool, and it would always hit a damn porta john.
Hmm.
I'm like, why? Why the porta johns? What is the obsession with the? Do you not want us to go to the bathroom or something? Like seriously?
They think you'll give up if you can't pee or poo. They'll give up now. They can't. They can't relieve themselves. We have struck them where they're the weakest. They're portable bathrooms. Or
Oh
did they
man.
stand out because were they different, or did they? Yeah, I don't know. Just dumb luck. Was it like? Mm,
Well, I mean, they're all shooting
interesting.
from mountains, X distance from bases, and they're just aiming blindly, and our motor pools are usually like near the edge of the base, so it makes sense that that's about as far as in as they can get.
Never heard that before about the porta potties though. That you'd lose so many of them. Well, I guess better the porta potties though than people.
Yeah.
Hmm. You still have problems like on 4th of July or anything? Loud fireworks still get to you, or
And that's what's messed up because like I like to go outside and actually look at the fireworks,
enjoy? Yeah.
but I mean you still kind of get that I don't want to say goosebumps. Is it goosebumps? Like you still kind of feel like hairs on your arm kind of stick up. Like you feel like waves go through your arms. Like tidal waves go through your body. So chills or whatever. But like I like to go outside and look at the sky and everything. So like I don't want that to ever go away because to me, fireworks are beautiful,
So
and
you can
and I
still
don't want
enjoy.
to.
You can still enjoy them then, or do you have to be able to just see them and not hear them, or is it the hearing that would the loud explosion if you're close enough? Is that
I mean, what helps is physically being able to see and knowing that it's there. Like if I'm just sitting
okay?
on a couch and I just you hear the explosion outside, like that's a different story for me a lot of time.
Yeah, makes
Now,
sense.
once that first explosion goes off, like, and I know that people are doing fireworks outside, then I'll be prepared for it. And once another explosion goes off, and another one, it's at least a little bit better. Second time around, third time around. Um,
So neighborhood fireworks could be problematic because you might only hear them, you can't see them. But like if the
yeah,
city-wide fireworks, where you can clearly see up in the air, boom, they're not.
yeah. Yeah, but like if they're going off in the neighborhood and then I go outside and I start staring at it or something, like it's like I said, I'm prepared for it and I'm looking at it and I'm expecting it, so it helps a little bit more.
Yeah. Hmm. Couldn't imagine.
The things going on. Mm, damn, 9 o'clock already.
Yeah, yeah. You saw we did the reset a little bit ago. It's gotten more interesting because it seems to mess up your camera and then turn it around or something. I don't know what it's going.
Well, I flip it around because once it does the reset, it like freezes on me,
Oh,
and
okay.
so
So you have
I
to do something.
noticed that once you hit the little double arrows, to flip the camera, it unfreezes it.
Oh, so you have to do something on your end. Okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering that wasn't always the case though. I think it would recover on its own before, right?
I'm not
Is that
sure.
new? Oh, you've
Like
always
I just started doing that
okay.
because it would always freeze on me, and I'm like, you know what? Let me try something, and I pushed the flip button, and it started working, unfreezing from there. So I'm like, okay,
I need to remember to look up what that is that causes that. Like why hour 50? It's like clockwork every time. It's not
mm,
random. Hmm. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. That's pretty scary to be that close. Um,
but like I said, I mean, there's
then the
thousands,
jobs you did.
probably hundreds of thousands of soldiers that have had it far worse than I could, and that's why I'm like, I it's not the worst experiences in the world. I mean, you have actual soldiers who've gotten into real gunfights and whatnot, and it's bad. But like at least I could say, hey, I've never been into a gunfight, with the enemy.
Yeah,
I've been very
what that
fortunate in that
person said
regard.
though, you're downplaying your experiences, right? Your experiences are valid because there's plenty of people who never saw anything. I'm sure, right? They just sat in an office and that's all they saw. Um,
Yeah,
just because you weren't killed or maimed, you were maimed. If only mentally, right? You still have problems sleeping.
yeah. But every time you go out that gate and go on some kind of mission or something, I mean, you knew something was a possibility, but it just sucked that particular night that happened, and it's like, god damn.
Yeah, and you had to go back out again
Mm,
the next night or the next mission or whenever it was, and again. Well, and you weren't done with your current mission.
yeah. Yeah,
You,
we still had a long time to go to finish
you
our
can be
tour.
like,
Like,
"That's it, boss. I'm getting back in the truck. You guys finish. You walls. I'm done. You hop up there. I'm good." Yeah.
but I think a couple months later, when we started the retrograde yard, or whenever it was, however long later, um, we stopped doing going out the gate, and other units took over, gate missions. You know, uh, so that was something. But like I said, I didn't mind, you know, going out on missions. It was getting off the base and kind of seeing Iraq, seeing
Hmm.
Baghdad, and that was nice. I liked the opportunity to actually see a different country, different city and whatnot. And the when you drive by, they really are shitholes, and I feel bad. But then there's some places you drive by and they're like really nice areas, and it's like that no matter where you go.
Hmm.
But there's places you drive by and like you see just entire like street neighborhoods just lined up, it's just nothing but dirt. And then you see
Mm.
all these dogs, just like probably a dozen dogs just running along this dirt path, and I'm like, now you see that, now that's sad as hell. And like these dogs are dirty and thin, and like
Hungry. And,
I'm like, man, that's sad. Like I feel bad for those poor animals
hmm
because they don't belong to anybody. They're just strays.
hmm Maybe they did at one point.
Yeah,
Well, then they
I think
moved or
even
died.
worse for me. I think seeing that was probably even harder than anything else I probably saw, during my tours
Mm.
is seeing the animals out there. That just shows you how depressing it was. And then, like I said, there were other places that were really beautiful,
hmm You see any
but
cats too? Like cats on the street alone?
not a lot. Like I'm
Mostly
probably
dogs.
sure we probably came across maybe 2 or 3 running along, but like
Yeah.
not we're not talking a lot of, and we're talking house cats, not like
Okay.
big animals.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's house cats. Yeah, that either
But
run
like
shelter.
mostly we just saw dogs.
Hmm.
And, like there were dogs everywhere. Like there were a ton. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing a dog somewhere.
Wow. Were they the Iraqis own a lot of dogs, and then they were just abandoned, or they have a lot
I
of
mean,
wild.
maybe all the strays were having puppies. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, that could happen too.
Galena, I wouldn't say a wish. Um, Oddly enough, I only wanted to go into the army after high school because of JROTC. And
Hmm.
I did 4 years of JROTC at Lane Tech, and I didn't even know that my father was in the army. So I think it wasn't junior year. I think senior year, I went to talk to a recruiter, and what was it? I think it was a National Guard recruiter. So no, I think his name was Sergeant Love, Sergeant First Class Love, and he used to always come to the drill. He used to always come to the what the hell was it called? Drill hall. Jesus Christ. He used to always come to the drill hall and talk about the army and stuff. Try to recruit the students and whatnot.
Sales pitch.
So one day, my father he took me to the recruiting office to talk to him and everything. And I remember this. This was funny as hell. And he asked like, "Hey, why do you want to join the army or something?" And I remember. I mean, this wasn't the only reason, right? But it's one of the reasons I gave. And money, obviously,
Mm.
because I proposed to Sabrina in like November, right?
Mm.
And so I was getting married, and I remember him like, you're doing this for money? I'm like, well, damn son of a bitch, not with that attitude. um, that's not very recruitery, now is it? You're trying to get me to sign on the dotted line.
Can't
Like,
you just be happy I'm interested in your office?
do
Come on,
you
buddy.
like? Do you want that commission or not?
Yeah.
Uh, you're trying to get
Doing this
me to
for
sign
money?
up so you can get the commission. Like, dude, what are you doing? Uh, yeah, I'm getting married. I'm getting married soon. I'm graduating high school. I need a job that's going to be able to support a family. And making $7.50 an hour working at Sara Lee isn't going to get the
Isn't
job
gonna cut it.
done.
Yeah.
So yeah, earning a pretty good paycheck is very important to me.
Job and experience,
Um,
maybe.
and I guess I could have said that. I could have worded it better than that, but I said money. And like I said, I could have worded it better, but when he looked at me like, "You're doing this for money?" I can't do the face right, but the look
That
he
is
gave me, I'm like, "It was so stupid."
that is funny though. That's the dirty secret though of most jobs. Really, actually, they never say that. Like, why are you interested in coming to our place? Well, because I still need money to pay for food and shelter. But they don't want to hear that. They want to say, "Oh, because your company's so great, and I'm so inspired to work at, Pepsi Cola or whatever the heck." I guess the army would be a little different.
Selena, yes.
You could be inspired to protect us and protect our freedoms abroad, but no recruiter seems like ever wants to know that's just for the money. That's the only reason I'm here because you pay well.
I mean, we all
Right?
can be
Yeah, I'll
like,
do it for free. No, you keep my paycheck. I don't need it. Just burn it. I'm just going to do it for free.
we can all give the Miss Universe answer, like,
Yeah, that's it.
I want to protect my country, huh, huh, huh. But I mean, at the end of the day, we also have to earn a living, support ourselves,
Yeah,
support our families and whatnot. So,
and they
I mean,
even
yeah,
say
that's
that
important.
on their ads. They even say it's a good job, it's a good career, and if it's not your career, they can pay for your schooling if you want to get a different career. Right? That's part of their sales pitch. So, yeah, break out into that's a good. What do you call it?
That's
The
right.
Miss America answer? Is that how you call it? Yeah, that's a good term for it.
Yeah, thanks, my man.
Oh yeah, yeah, and to
Yeah,
go back out. That wasn't your last day of duty, right? You had to keep going back out on missions after that near miss. Yeah, I would.
so, but yeah, I mean,
Well,
obviously, I mean, I wasn't making a lot in the army when I first, because I was for 4 years of the army, 4 years of JROTC. I went in as a PFC, private first class, so that was nice. I'd have to start off as an E1 private. I went in as an E3,
hmm.
so that was a little bit of a pay bump. But I was only making like $1,000, $1,100 a month. But I mean, I remember getting like my first paycheck in the army was like $550 for 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and like, man, I'm about to cry. Like that $550 for 2 weeks of work. Like, damn, this is like I'm filthy rich. I was so freaking excited because I remember getting one paycheck from Sarah Lee for 2 weeks, and my 2 week paycheck was like $34 one time,
Oh,
and
geez.
I'm like, okay, like my hours at Sarah Lee were not good. 2 to 6:30 on Saturday, or 11 to 4:30 on Sunday, or maybe a 3:30 to 7:30, or 4 to 7:30 on Friday, or something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe I work a Friday and a Sunday, or maybe I work a Saturday or something like that. So like I would have like $100 paychecks or $200 paychecks or something usually. So I wasn't exactly making a lot of money with Serverly, right? So when I get $500 in one paycheck, like that's already more money than I would make an entire month at Serverly. So by the time I got that second paycheck, that was already gold. Like that was freaking priceless for me. So like I looked at that $1,000+ a month as being freaking filthy rich.
Yeah, and it just kept coming. You're like, man, they keep paying me every 2 weeks.
And and you know, you know, college benefits, free medical,
Mhm.
um, you're learning a new craft. So once once your military career is over, you can go into the civilian world and already have experience in whatever job you chose. So I chose logistics. So how many supply jobs are there in the world, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you gain that experience. So there were a lot of benefits for joining the army. So
Lance talking about a bar.
well,
Apparently you own it, and I'd be the bouncer. That's where a lot of wrestlers got their start, right? Oh, did Scott Hall? I know. Um, the Road Warriors did. And I want to say Diamond Dallas Page either bounced or ran a bar. I think he ran a bar. A lot of bar wrestlers. But
yeah,
yeah,
guys, I think I'm gonna go to about 9:30. Originally, I was thinking 9 o'clock, but I'm gonna take it to about 9:30, and I'm gonna call it a night.
all right, we'll call it a draw.
Oh, tomorrow morning, I got the Latuni Macho Man.
Yeah, I saw
I,
that.
I think I could have done a better job doing a review on that, but
You think?
I don't know. I just wasn't feeling good today, and I went outside to work on that stupid porch with the darn
No.
table, and I was feeling sick, my stuffy nose, and I'm like, I just didn't know what to say about the figure, so I'm like, I tried to give a best review I could, but I mean, it's a great piece. Like, I really think Latunia knocked that one out of the ballpark, and when I say that 2026 they may have found their best figure of the year, I 100% believe it.
Yeah, nobody else is doing anything like that.
But I also mentioned cryptically at the end of the video that Latuni also is coming out with a new set of figures with accessories. And I mentioned it in the video, but I'll mention it here as well. And I'm not talking about canes or hats
But
or any
it's
sort of weapons,
but it's got to be Kane. I've heard that before.
but it is going to be a very large accessory. And they were accessories for figures that were supposed to be made in the 80s, but were scrapped.
Hmm.
And I tell you, man, if these figures are made, they will. So I gotta blow my nose.
Mm-hmm.
If these figures are made, they are gonna end up being the best darn figures ever created.
Is that the Sky series he kind of hinted at on Facebook, or is that something? Did you see that? He's like, "What's taller than Everest?"
Shit.
Sky.
No,
I'm
I
like,
don't think.
really? Is he going to make bigger figures than Everest? Like, holy cow, dude! That would
Oh,
go went back to my original joke with Bum. You know, life size figures. Is that where he's going?
mm.
Life size Hogan, life size Macho.
Oh yeah, he did ask me for the dimensions of the 16-inch Hulk Hogan figure, and
Oh, maybe he is going bigger.
so he might be trying to get into the 16-inch line as well. Gotta take out my Invisalign tray.
Yeah, I don't know if he got like a contract. You might know AJ Galena's question about Macho. And Lance had a question about, yeah, have you thought, do you have your fig collection covered, Matt? Mine's not worth that much, so I don't have to worry. But
Uh-uh.
on your home
I
insurance,
don't. I don't.
at least you do have documentation. That was a big thing. In fact, I saw it posted in Reddit just this past couple days. Somebody had like a garage fire or something and lost some figures, and the insurance company wouldn't cover it because they didn't have any proof they had collectibles in there. So one, you have to have the coverage, and two, you have to have proof. Of course, you've got videos on your YouTube. I guess that helps. They wouldn't have, right? They didn't have any of that. But I don't know if it's like personal collectibles or something like that. I never have anything. At least I still don't think I do, because usually I think of like jewelry and stuff that's expensive. I think you get a default amount at most places that give you home insurance. That might be enough, but for you, it might not be.
Mm.
It might be for me, but that's one of those things you want to look into. Say, oh, I actually need, instead of $5,000, I might need 20 grand or whatever. Oh. And I think with Macho, did he get like does he have to make a certain amount of figures of Macho as part of the contract, or he just loves that figure?
Well, I know the original design. He told me I think he's had to make 10 figures.
So that's probably part of it. But is he
So
past that now, or where's he at with that? He's close, right? He's got at least half.
yeah, he's not at 10 yet.
Okay, so maybe that's why. But at least he can do different molds, because the first 2 or 3 or 4 were the same mold, and then people are like, okay, Macho's cool, but can we have a different pose?
Mm.
So it's probably in the contract he has to make a certain amount. And I mean, for most of us, we do like Macho. If he's in a different pose, like talk show, candy thrower, the toy commercial, we don't mind extra Machos. Those.
Hey, there might even be a either a 16-inch or possibly an Everest size 12-inch
I wonder if those
toy
count.
commercial Macho Man.
Do his Everest count? Oh, yeah. I think he actually asked in his poll on Facebook recently. I saw if
Yep.
anybody's interested. I wonder what that would look like. Is that what you just had? A Cadbury egg? It'll kind of look like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Lance picked up on it too. I used to love those, but those are so.
They got
Those,
little tiny ones.
oh, okay. Those are so easy to eat too quickly. Those are
In
another
fact,
bugaboo.
I think I do got a big one here too.
And also a big Cadbury egg. Sounds dirty. Oh, they have
Hmm.
different size Cadbury eggs? That tells you
Well,
how.
I like these better because they actually have the caramel inside. This one has like some kind of orange flavored insert, and I'm like, that's not
Huh.
that's not a real one.
Shows you it's been a while since I've had a Cadbury egg. I didn't know they came in different sizes. That's probably not a recent thing. It's just luckily I've avoided them the past couple of years. Like I say, it's just me at home right now, and so if I buy them, I'm going to eat them. And they're too easy to eat.
Oh hell yeah!
Eat very quickly. So, of course, luckily you get the big ones. I think you only get a package. If you do buy a package, are they like 2s or 4s or something like that?
It's like a
Birthday eggs.
orange and vanilla cream in here.
Oh,
It's
orange.
not the caramel like it should be.
I've never seen the orange. Yeah, because the original ones had a creamy filling, but not orange. I don't think. Right? It was just like a cream vanilla, like the original ones I'm familiar with. And the other ones that were very popular were the peanut butter cups in the shape of an egg.
Real
Yeah,
fruit egg.
they do feel almost like an egg because the white creamy filling, like a egg yolk, or not a yolk, but like the white parts of the egg maybe. But they didn't taste like an egg. But the what we also liked in the family growing up were they're peanut butter cups essentially, but they're an egg shape. Somehow the egg shape tasted better than the regular peanut butter cup. I don't know why. Maybe did it have? I don't think it came with the paper around it. You know how peanut butter cups have the black paper?
Mm-hmm.
I think you just opened it up and ate it. Maybe that was part of it. You could eat it quicker.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they tasted better in egg shape. Flattened egg shape, though, right? It wasn't like an actual egg. It was flattened. 2-dimensional egg. That was one of my sister's favorites for those. I liked them too, but I think I was partial Cadbury eggs. And my dad loved jelly beans. I wasn't into them before because I think all we had were Brock's and maybe Jelly Belly, but now there's a ton of jelly beans. There's everybody and their grandma makes jelly beans now. I think there's like a Starburst and a Skittles and a Sweet Tarts, Jolly Rancher, Nerds.
You want to know what's the
Brock's still.
most hated candy,
Oh,
and I don't understand why.
it's your better half.
Yes, love.
Candy. It's World of Warcraft.
Are you calling me or are you just checking in?
Which is Warcraft? What is it? Yeah, that would be a good question if Cardona bought it. I always wondered, yeah, like what your collection is worth. What's Cardona's collection worth? What's Kyle Peterson's? I'm trying to think of the big Fig Heel. I think he's probably got a pretty big collection. What are all
Is that I thirst verily? Is that proper grammarly?
Is that
Matt,
Mrs. Matt?
madam, that is not proper grammar.
I thirst verily. Did we just go back in time? Are we in the Middle Ages? Do I have to watch out for the bubonic plague and moldy bread and stuff? Oh, tea. Oh, okay. Is this the
I'm
smoke?
coming in for something.
Is this the smoke or drink?
I too could go. Hey, I could go for some tea as well.
Are we smoking or drinking this tea though?
No, probably gonna go for cold tea, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. She might make some hot tea. I don't know what she's making.
that's what I had earlier in the orange cup was some hot tea. I'll probably make some when I'm done. Trying to drink a little bit less lately. Been feeling kind of funky.
You know, I honestly haven't celebrated Easter since I was a kid with, back home with like, my big family, like my wife and I, like we don't really celebrate Easter. We don't celebrate Easter, do we?
No, but sometimes I watch a religious movie to remind myself that I need to be humbled.
Cool.
And when I say I thirst verily, that means I thirst for sure in, Shakespeare speak or some
Verily?
shit.
Yeah, baby. Proud of you.
I thirst verily. So if you could have gotten up and gotten me something, great.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I too will take a tea.
Yeah, as long as I'm up.
He's not picking up what you're putting down. You can't smell what the wife is cooking there. If you can wait 7 minutes, he can make a tea for you. Right, you got 7 more minutes to go.
Yeah, there you go. I got 7 more minutes. I don't know if this was just something my mom did or is
Brett Michaels made it.
did other families do this as well? Like my mom, she treated Easter kind of like Christmas a little bit because when she got her Easter baskets,
Oh
we used to
yeah,
always fill those things up with presents. Like it wasn't just candy. Like she would put like
that became
for me as a kid when I was a kid, like I love Power Rangers, right? So she would put Power Ranger toys in there.
nice.
Or later on when I turned a teenager, like she'd put DVDs in there or something. So
Almost like a
like
stuffer type of maybe gift, or maybe a little bit higher. It wouldn't be like a full blown Christmas or birthday gift, but it
no,
would be
like Christmas. Let's say you get 10 presents or 20 presents or 5 presents, 100 presents, however many presents you would get for Christmas. And you wouldn't get as many obviously for Easter. It's Easter. It's not Christmas. It's not present giving time. But I mean, there would still be like a few presents that you would get on Easter, and I think that's awesome. Thank you, baby.
I think I missed
But
that. We never got presents. I think I missed that. But all the nieces and nephews in my family did start getting presents, and I was like, well, what? We did get presents. I remember. I didn't mind, but I was not. I was fine. I got plenty of stuff as a kid, but I don't know when that flip came on, that presents in the Easter basket, but you weren't alone. That became a trend somewhere along the line. Um, Probably I would have done better with presents, so I would have had less candy. That was bad for me. Presents might have been better for me than more Cadbury eggs. Or I never got into it, but I think we'd always get either from the parents or grandparents or someone like a chocolate bunny, a hollowed out chocolate bunny. To me, that was actually the worst piece of candy. It was just chocolate, right? You had all the other stuff with chocolate and peanut butter and caramel and all the other good stuff. Like, it's a hollowed chocolate bunny. Why is this good? But no, every year we got one. I mean, I ate it. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted the other stuff was better. Even the Peeps I liked better than the chocolate bunny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I was weird though. Peeps I know are very divisive, and now they have Peeps everywhere. Peeps were only an Easter thing when I was a kid. Now you get like Peeps Arbor Day and Peeps Valentine's Day and Peeps, middle Wednesday
Nice.
October. They have Peeps for everything now.
Yeah, Galena, my wife and I hit 21 years yesterday. And it's kind of funny. We also count Fox's birthday because we
Okay.
don't know officially when he was born. So we always call him our marriage kitty. So um, we
Very cool.
count his birthday as our, just like we count our wedding anniversary. So when we say March 22nd, our wedding anniversary, we say March 22nd is
Okay.
also his birthday for
Yeah,
sake of,
yesterday.
yeah. So,
Did you get him any gifts then for yesterday?
I mean, well, I did get him a bunch of new sweaters, and that's different,
Does
right?
he does he
But
like to wear sweaters though? Or
that's
I've never had a cat that liked to wear clothing, but I wish I did. Some do. I'm sure some are fine with it.
it's kind of interesting because
You never
I,
know.
I would think he would have hated wearing that, but no, I think he actually enjoys it because
Keeps him warm.
because he's always sits over here on the vent because he likes the heat,
Yeah,
and when we got him back from the hospital, we have to give him IV fluids,
which cools
and
him down.
I don't think it's so much the needle going into his body that he hates. I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure it's no picnic being stabbed, but I think it's the IV, the cold of the fluids going into his body. I think that's what gets him jumping all over the place and wanting to run away.
Yeah,
But we put him on the counter, and he's got to understand he's old and brittle. He can't be jumping up, high counters anymore.
it could hurt
So
him.
we got to pick him up and put him on the floor. But he always wants to jump off things. I'm like, dude, don't. Even coming downstairs, like at nighttime, I'll pick him up. I'll carry him upstairs because I don't want him, walking up the stairs anymore or walking down the stairs. I want to be able to carry him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want him to be able to last as long as possible. At 21, I want that. I want to see him live to be 25. I want to see him live to 30 if possible.
Wow. Carry him up the stairs. Doesn't he like? He doesn't mind being carried.
Mm-mm. No, the little prince likes to be chauffeured.
No problem there. Because some cats are like, okay, you can hold me for a second, but then go on. Maybe the younger kitties are that way. I don't know. Likes to be chauffeured. That does sound fun, being carried up and down the stairs.
And see, Lance says, I'm just afraid to get old. The one thing I could say, Lance, I mean, I think my wife and I were lucky to have found each other when we did. Like I said, we met in high school, and we just kind of bonded because of the shared life experiences, I guess. And I could never imagine what life would be without her. And I know that there's a lot of things that I probably would never have been able to do otherwise. Uh, Even the army, man. Like I love JROTC, and JROTC I'd say is a big reason why I joined the army. But I feel like my wife is also a big reason, has been a big motivation, inspiration for joining the army as well. Because I wanted a career where I could actually support her and support myself and everything. And if I didn't have her in my life, maybe I wouldn't have joined the army. Maybe I would have stayed at Sarah Lee. And Sarah Lee did actually close, I think, probably about a year or so later. So I would have been jobless at that point,
Oh
anyways.
yeah, you've been unemployed.
And would I've gone to college right after high school? Probably not, because I wasn't exactly the best high school student either. I was like mid range, 2.7 GPA. So Probably 550 or so out of like 1,100 students, 1,114 students, whatever the graduating class was.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. How do you have 1,100 students in your graduating class? There's towns that don't even have 1,100 people.
It's a large graduating class. Yeah, 1,100 people. I think ours was pretty large, but I don't think it was that large. I want to say like 500 or 700, something like that. Maybe 500, 1,100. I thought we were large.
Yeah, I think the overall student body is like 4,500, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it could get up closer to 5,000. I mean, with teachers and
Oh
faculty
yeah.
and everything, I'm pretty sure it could get. But there's probably 5,000 to 6,000 people in the building on any given day. Lane Tech was a huge building.
And you
I
had
mean, that
more
took
than.
up.
Did you just have the high school classes, or did you have the other undergrads and stuff too? Was it one of those big?
No, it was just a high school.
Okay, I didn't know. My graduating one, it was just high school, but I know at one point in the middle of my life, we were in a place that all the classes together, which was kind of interesting because as your kid, you're in second grade or third grade, and you had the junior high and high school kids there too. Could have been interesting, but yeah, does get interesting. Yeah, I mean it everything gets old. It got old for me when I started seeing all the people who used to plan all of our holiday get-togethers start passing away. That eventually came from my father, and now I have no grandparents or parents left alive, and so now you're like, oh, nothing makes you feel older than that. And you're like, oh, I'm the person now that has to. It's our generation now that has to say, oh, let's get together for Christmas or Easter or whatever the heck you want to do. We don't always do that stuff, but um, that gets you old. You're like, oh man, people start dying. Not to say that people haven't had it worse. Some people have it better because I have a friend that he just lost his dad, and so now he has no parents left. But he's younger than that happened to me, and I'm like, yeah, see, never a good time to lose your parents, is there?
Yeah, my mom, she was, and I say was, 33 when I was born.
Yeah,
And then in
I was
2000,
really
and
shocked
then
too.
and then in 2010, and I say was for a good reason, because I was always under the impression my mom was born in 1952. My entire life, that was her date of birth or year of birth, 1952.
Hmm.
And then 2010, I get back from the army, and I'm at her house. I'm visiting her, and I'm looking at, I don't know what I'm looking at, some kind of paper on her table that's showing her date of birth as 1950. And I'm like, when the hell did you gain 2 years? Oh, apparently I must have been born in 1950. Mother effer, how the? What do you mean? I must have been born in. How do you not know how old you are?
She wasn't doing it to
Like
seem younger. She really didn't know.
what? What? Like when did you start? When did you start elementary school? When did you
I
start
forgot.
kindergarten?
Yeah, I forgot.
Like what is it? Like
It wasn't a game to make her seem younger, was it? Was it one of those games? How some people do that sometimes?
I don't know,
That's
man. My
leaving it,
my
maybe.
mom.
I don't know if 2 years is enough to swing it, but right to feel younger. I don't know.
It's like It's just so funky, man. I love my mom, but I don't understand most of the things she says.
That is funny.
Because
So,
you never know if she's telling the truth or not, or like if she's exaggerating, or
is she messing
she.
with you? Is she not wanting to break kayfabe? I'm trying to bring the wrestling. Is that her gimmick? I like to bring wrestling terms into real life.
I mean,
She
it's like
telling.
it's one of those stories, like her first husband. The story's always been that her husband died. Her original husband died. My oldest brother, my oldest sister, their father, and then she met my father, and then they got married, and then had the 4 Watson kids. But apparently, I remember being back in Chicago and going through her closet and finding this binder, this album, whatever, and finding this letter from like I I don't know, maybe from the attorneys or something, maybe during her divorce or something. And in it was a letter from a psychiatrist or whatever, psychiatrist, therapist, I don't know, someone. And just reading what the psychiatrist had to say about her, I'm like, yes, oh my God, this is 100% accurate to a T. This psychiatrist is a genius. Like
Knows what
they
they're
know
doing.
her, they know her perfectly. This, yes.
Hmm.
And part of it is like, part of it was like just describing like how they don't know if what she's saying, what is truth and what's fiction, because one of it was
Ooh.
like, hey, one discussion, my husband died. One discussion is my husband and I got divorced. So what is it? Did he die or like I'm questioning that. Like, did he die or not? But I'm assuming on because even my brother and sister, they too think that he died. So I'm assuming that he's actually dead,
But
and that's
nobody
the truth.
knows. Nobody knows for sure. There's some doubt.
I'm gonna say that he died. Like my mom, just doesn't know how to tell a story. But I just thought that reading that years and years ago, I just thought that was funny. That even a psychiatrist couldn't really follow her stories. That's why I'm like, that's why I think it would be funny to have my mom on a live show one day, just to be like, just
There
so
you go.
you would kind of like, not to make fun of her or anything. I just think it would be just a fun to have her on, just kind of like troll her in a fun, playful manner, because that's my mom right there. I don't want people to hurt her. Obviously,
No,
I want people to obviously respect her and have a good time, have a good conversation.
definitely moderate well that night.
But I just thought that was funny. But my mom, she's outlived my grandma, who I thought was in incredible health. And I think my grandma died at 73, and my grandpa died at 75. So my mom next month is going to be turning 77. If she was born in 1950, that she'd be 77 then.
76, as far as you know.
70. What did I say? 1950? Yeah.
1950 would be
Oh my God,
76. Was she
76. Yeah,
29?
I'm sorry.
No big deal. But
Why do I think it's 27 for?
you ready
Oh my God,
for the year to be over already?
I was thinking it was 2027.
Still got a few more months.
God damn. I was thinking 2026. Then I was thinking a year later, and I was thinking 27. Like, I don't know why.
But as far as you know, she's turning 76. Maybe her birth. Maybe it's not really 1950. I don't know. Was that the real paperwork, or was that the? She's playing the long game with you, messing with you.
Well, for the last 15, 16 years, whatever, she's been going by the 1950 date of birth.
Oh,
So, I mean, that's what I'm assuming.
and then next time you see her, she'll be like, "Oh, I was born in 55." What? What happened? 45. Was this an auction? 45? Can I hear 45, 46, 46, 46? Can I hear 46, 46? Like, is that how you determine the birth year? How does that go? Talking about, I think, dying the beard, and Cardona probably dyes his. I think my problem with his is with his face and his smile just looks so fake. And I don't know if his smile is really fake, but there's just something about I can't do his smile, but every time he smiles, it looks weird. I think he's legitimately smiling, but almost looks like he's pretending. There's something that's weird about his smile. Matt Cardona. Of course, his career is a little more important, the way he looks and stuff, than mine. Oh, out of water.
You see that right there? That's always been a goal of mine. Have a long tenured marriage that can hit 50 years, 60 years, 70, 75 years. I think that's an important reason why people got to get married young if they want to reach those goals. You can't get married at age 45 and be married 50 years, I mean, I guess you
No,
could, but I mean, you got to have good health to last
yeah.
90 into your 90s, 100 years old type of deal.
Unfortunately, some people aren't really marriage material when they're 20 or 22 either, though, right? Or 25, or long marriage material. Some people aren't ready yet. It is what it is, right? You have to have the right person, and you have to be in the right frame of mind and be willing to do the work. A lot of Cardona talk. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just kind of because I was watching, I think earlier today or yesterday on Facebook, he was smiling over. I don't know what he was holding up. I was just like, that smile just doesn't look like it's complete.
Mm.
Ooh, 60, 70 years. Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, 50 would be huge, especially anymore. I don't know that people get fewer people seem to be getting married, especially early, and then all the divorces and stuff. I don't know if you see a lot of long marriage anniversaries as much anymore. Because 50, you get married at 22, you'd have to be 72 and stay together. I
I
guess,
mean, I think we'll hit 50 years.
yeah. But I'm just
I mean,
saying,
I
more and more people
expect
aren't doing
to
it.
live to 70. 80 might be pushing it. Hopefully. I mean, like I said, I want to live to 115 so I can see the next century.
Yeah, 115.
But I mean, I at least want to live. I want to be 100 years old, like because I want to be. I want to reach those triple digits, man. But
That'd be cool. That's why I was kind of sad when I think Betty White was 99 and change when she finally passed away. I thought she was going to make 100. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
she didn't. And I'm like, oh. Plus, she was gone too. She was still like acting and doing stuff, up until her final days. Because I think she was in Hot in Cleveland, and she was still, I think she was well into her 90s. All the TV she did, and all the funny humor, all the entertainment. And I'm like, oh yeah, she was going to make 100. And then all of a sudden, one morning, wake up and like, no, Betty White passed away. And you're like, oh, dang it.
I just told my wife that make sure that I go first because I couldn't handle life without her. So that's my only request.
I mean,
So she knows better.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you want to be the person who outlives the other? That's what I was thinking about with like Highlander. You know the movie Highlander.
Yeah,
And in that Queen song, it's true. Who wants to live forever? All the people he outlived, all the loved ones, and how many times do you want to see your husband or wife die and then you have to move on? You just keep living.
mm.
Danielson, Brian Danielson.
Danielson.
Oh,
Danielson.
Danielson. Oh, I was thinking of Brian Danielson. I was watching some old AEW, so he was wrestling. It's like Brian Danielson. It's kind of funny. Really, the dragon or whatever he called him, the American Dragon. What they call him? I forget. I think so. Was that it? American Dragon, something like that.
All right, guys. I do think that is gonna be it for the night.
Only 10
Yeah,
more.
now my back is starting to act up the last few minutes. So tomorrow morning, Latuni Macho Man review for the toy commercial figure.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Toy commercial.
I think that's pretty much all I have coming in for new purchases. So that's probably gonna be like the last of the reviews for a while. Unless I pull something off the shelf that I already have that I haven't reviewed.
Mm.
Maybe the old Big River Guys Series 14 with like Coco Beware and Lenny Popo, or maybe I could do that or something.
You didn't do that review? We talked about it, but you never did a review, did you?
No, I never did. I never did a review on those
Yeah,
figures.
that would be good because you really like that series, right? And you weren't
Yeah,
sure about it when you got them, I think, initially, right?
yeah,
Kind of grew on you a bit.
yeah. I made a video where I opened the package and the package was completely screwed up. I never actually did a review on them directly.
Their shipping has gotten better. I think I've gotten one or two since then, but yeah, back then it was really crappy.
Hey, Lance, thank you so much for tuning in, bud. Always. But that is it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you actually got it.
I did get one.
Was it worth the pickup?
Huh?
Was it worth the pickup?
I think so. I mean, it's basically the USA Macho just with different colors. Now, I won't buy the other ones. If they came out with a Cardinal one, I probably would because he actually, I think, did the Cardinals sign him and then he played for the Reds was his last team? So he actually played for the Reds and Cardinals, but they're coming out with like a Yankees and a Dodgers, and I'm like, he never played with those teams. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. I think it's because I like the tassels or whatever you call it, right? These little things that came down on it. And it came with a hat, so I'm like, oh, accessories. And it was Macho. And I knew if I didn't get it now, I wouldn't pay aftermarket prices for it, right?
No.
So, but I think that was the last thing I got from them. It came well packaged, if I remember correctly. That's why I brought him out. He's on my desk. So I think their packaging and shipping has gotten better.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Glenn, Wednesday at 7. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern, we do Fly the L and I do a live show.
Yeah, I think my Genius is in the living room now. I think I could bring him in. I got figures spread out. I need to get track of my clutter. I just got
Yeah.
another package today. Think of the Jumping Bomb Angels from I think it's Title Run Toys from J&J Figures. Finally
I think
came.
that's who. I think that's who making them. Yeah.
So I got that. So I'm a completionist right now with Title Run, and I've got a bunch of grapplers and gimmicks I haven't opened yet. They're just sitting there. I got from
Yeah.
Maven Toys.
Glad you mentioned that.
That was
I
it.
don't know if you got the email, 15% off from the company.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
think I'm
pretty cool.
tapped out. I looked. Spring, I think is the code. Yeah, if anybody needs any grapplers and gimmicks tonight before they close, I think it's spring for 15% off, not 10. So it's funny because I asked Bum and he said, "Oh yeah, they very rarely run sales." And ever since I asked him, they've ran 2 or 3 sales since then. I'm like, I don't know if that's a bad sign for him or if he's just clearing out inventory or what. He had Shamrock, I think, for 2 days last week, and then Spring this week, and I think earlier he had another 10% off sale. I'm like, wow. I was thinking about looking that Sergeant Slaughter with the either the Slaughter by himself or with General Adnan. Neither of those are worth the sale. I guess they're too new. I keep adding them in the cart and they say, nope, no 15% off. So those you have to pay full price.
Yeah.
But everything else seems to be because I got the USA Macho finally last.
Yeah, if he goes up to like 25% off, I will start picking up some more G&Gs, but 15% still not enough. 10% definitely not enough for me. So, I mean, well, when he gets into the 25%, we could start talking. All right.
You ever will. Because he went up to 15%, which is kind of surprising. Maybe he will. Maybe hold out. Play the long game, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. As always, I just want to say thank you to everybody, Fly the O, for joining me as co-host as always, and to all the viewers, comments. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you guys on. And again, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, we'll be back for another show. And tomorrow, 9 o'clock, for the Latuni review.
Mm-hmm.
Again, nothing crazy fancy, but it is what it is. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the episode.
It's a good fig.
All right,
I don't know
guys.
if it's still available. I haven't looked, but supplies
For
are
the
of
Macho Man, yeah,
commercial.
it should be. I think they're down to just under 100 now.
Okay, but it's dwindling. So if you do like it, don't hesitate. But yeah, should be a good.
Yeah, in the description of the video, I also got the Latuni and the what is it called? Catch all the action or
Bring home all the action. Yeah, I'm
bring
not
home
sure
all
why he started that. He started
bring
another
home all the
website.
action website. I'm sorry. Thank you. Bring home all the action website in the description. That's where you're gonna find the actual toy commercial Macho Man. It's not gonna be on the Latuni website, but if you want to get his other figures, you go to Latuni for those. All right, I'm definitely tuning out now. So X out. I'm gone.
We'll see ya.
Good night, everybody.